What's up guys, this is your favorite fanfic YouTuber, the Fanfic Majesty, and welcome to another amazing video. You can follow me on Patreon for exclusive stories. 7 Rupees Chapter 95. The world's strongest overlord, conquerors, crush the celestial dragons. Red line, battleships that float the skies like the relentless Shinigami. Uranus, beam of light falls, covering an area with a radius of 10 kilometers. Energy pours out. The aura of destruction pervades the earth. Immediately afterwards, it was a horrible explosion. The shelling that destroyed the island was shocking, and the earth-shattering sound resounded through the sky of the four seas. What sound? The sky is roaring. Because of the huge rocks falling from time to time, the ships on the sea below have moved away from the red line. Many ships were smashed to pieces by rocks falling from a height of 10,000 meters. No one can guarantee that the next one will not be me. Everyone came to join in the fun and watch the battle, not to die. Hear that roar. Everyone looked up and looked at the red line. It's a pity that layers of clouds and mist cover everything, and no one can see clearly what's going on above. Is it Leno and Kaido's fight? So scary? It's not like that? No, it seems that the gods are angry. The gods are angry? Don't be kidding. Where does the god come from? Haven't you heard of that legend? What legend? Historically, there was a kingdom where a tyrant lived, angered the celestial dragons, and then overnight, the island disappeared. The nearby fishermen only heard the roar of the sky, and a white punishment from the sky. That is the god of celestial dragons, protecting celestial dragons. Kaido, Leno, fighting on it must have angered the gods and sent down punishment. Blue Sea. No one knows why. There are various speculations and opinions. Marine, most of the people were also surprised and curious. Only Sengoku, staring at the sky. He had seen before that the power to destroy everything, even the Valley of Gods, was completely wiped out. Even if the 4 emperors who went up did not die, they would be seriously injured by 147. Because, that kind of shelling is not a one-time, but a steady and continuous output, and it is difficult for Haki to completely resist it. Puff, little devil, I'm going down. Uranus, under bombardment. Kaido in the form of a dragon, being held on the head by Leno, fled to the outside. Kaido kept releasing Haki, but he continued to lose blood crazily, and a thick longan was blown to pieces. Leno said seriously, "Don't move around, I'm saving you." Dollar? Kaido vomited blood again. He stared at the dragon eyes. Are you saving me? Not using me as a shield? Leno said righteously and righteously. Of course I saved you. I didn't wake you up. Are you dead? Open black lens bracket Uranus close black lens bracket attack, similar to laser, reached the speed of light. Therefore, even if Leno noticed it, it was too late to leave. In order not to let Kaido die there, Leno kindly held him on the head. Kaido. Wake up. You call it wake up, don't you want to kill me? He glanced at the 2 knives stabbed in his stomach. One left and one right. Forehead kidney. No way, in that case, I have only this way. Maximize your adrenaline. If you stab the heart, I can't be sure. Open black lens bracket Uranus close black lens bracket The bombardment was really terrible, layers of soil and rocks were melted by the exhausting high temperature. Even Leno, who was still in the open black lens bracket full moon demon king form close black lens bracket, grinned in pain. Suddenly, a huge rock that was blown away by the explosion hit them. Leno didn't even think about it, he slammed into Kaido who was carrying him hard. Boom. Rocks burst. Kaido vomits blood. Damn it, you brat, why don't you use me as a shield? Huh? I'm sorry, it's easy, and besides, aren't you Kaido? Undead monster, it's okay. Kaido bared his teeth. Can't wait to give Leno a stick. Leno gritted his teeth, facing the beam of light, with a pair of wind wings behind his back, he flew wildly towards the edge of the explosion. But in the energy of the explosion, it was difficult to move forward. Little ghost, if you can't escape, I'm really going to die, Duo said. Anyway, you deserved your death, and you chose this place to duel. Look, celestial dragons are angry, right? Kaido, who had been vomiting blood, calmed down and said, do you think I chose this place? Okay. Leno raised his eyebrows and said, what do you mean? Kaido said, it's world government, I chose here. They said, you played with Kuzan, played with world government and marine, and put them in a very passive position. So, let me teach you a lesson. In exchange, they will give me a scientist who studies man-made devil fruit. Obviously, you are their target. A tyrannical emotion suddenly rose in Leno's heart, so it turned out that he was actually being targeted? The previous calm was just a disguise. Who is it? That I am who sits on the throne and calls himself king of the world. Only, I am not so crazy about Luffy, is she? Could it be? That is, the difference between those with background and those without background? Brush. Finally, Leno dragged Kaido out of the shelling area and came outside. Here is near the edge of the red line, and the cool wind blows, making Leno refreshed instantly. Hoo-hoo. Leno gasped. Sweat, blood flow. It's slow to say, but the bombardment fell. And up to now, it only takes about 10 seconds, but every second is a fish of life and death. Uranus' shelling is as powerful as a full blow from 4 emperors. The difference is 4 emperors 1 hit, short duration. Flash past, just a wave of things. Because the 4 emperors are human beings, they will consume physical strength. Even Kaido cannot continue to use big moves continuously. But Uranus is a weapon and will not be exposed. Enough energy. It can last for 10 seconds, tens of seconds, or even longer. This is scary. Leno glanced at Kaido. His whole body was scarred and blackened. Almost like a charred 4-legged snake. The aroma from the top also whetted Leno's appetite. Leno wiped his drool. Puff! Leno pulled out the 2 knives that had been stabbed into Kaido's body, and his blood seemed to be drained. There's no blood in this wound. Kaido didn't wake up either, he was still in a coma. The only thing he could be sure of was that he was still alive and had a weak heartbeat. Leno dripped a drop of blood on the wound where Kaido was stabbed by Muramasa. Infection, talent, shimmering. Finish these. Leno kicked the fainted Kaido off the red line, causing him to fall 10,000 meters into the sky. Whether you die or not, it depends on your fate. Leno took a deep breath, turned his head to look at Marijoy. There was a cold look in his eyes, as well as tyrannical ferocity. Follow me. Then I'll talk to you guys. Although, full Moon Demon King form will gradually erode, but Leno still has reason, not needlessly crazy. 5 elders, or the mysterious I Am, for some reason, had their eyes on him and designed this matchup. Well, at East Blue, there must be a setup, if not give a response here. The existence of open black lens bracket Uranus close black lens bracket is the greatest threat to Elegia. In this invincible state, Leno is going to talk to the 5 elders and make those people feel pain. As for Leno coming here to fight Kaido, he won't regret it. Of course you won't regret it. If he doesn't come here, the duel with Kaido is probably Elegia, or the island he is on. Now that he is being targeted, it is useless to escape. The world government will have other plans and more conspiracies. Tiger Fisher dared to make a big fuss about Marijoy. Leno even beat Kaido now, why not? 5 elders, I Am, didn't they kill Fisher Tiger in the first place? Whatever the reason, in Leno's heart, there is no fear. Leno could only feel his blood burning, releasing a surge of fighting spirit, and even the sky wanted to poke a hole out. To do this, it is natural to pull the stage to the fullest. Leno squinted his eyes and looked at the system prompt. Ding. You beat your opponent, scan to talents. Overlord Body, SSS level, Azure Dragon, SSS level. Conqueror's Haki, SS level, Armament Haki, SS level, Observation Haki, SS level, Physical Art, SS level, Yulei, SS level, Yuhuo, SS level, Yufeng, S level, Yuyan, S level, Strategy, S level, 1. Hiss. As expected of Kaido, strong, just like this, Kaido still said that his talent is not good? Of course, maybe he was once, compared with Charlotte Linlin, really not talented, maybe, probably. Open black lens bracket please host choose a talent as soon as possible. Close black lens bracket. Leno thought about it. Which of the 2 SSS level talents to choose? Open black lens bracket blue dragon close black lens bracket. It is easy to understand that it is Kaido's strongest fruit, which has been integrated with him, and it is naturally his talent. This fruit is undoubtedly quite powerful. Open black lens bracket hegemony close black lens bracket what about? Is it the name of Kaido's strongest physique? Powerful, with the physique of a treasured pirate? Both talents are quite powerful. Leno hesitated for 2 seconds. Choose, body. Blue Dragon is strong, and doesn't match Leno's combat style. What's more, Blue Dragon is just a form of UU fruit, there are other fish fruits to choose from. Provided that I find. Ding, successfully copied the talent, Overlord Body. Talent Introduction. Overlord Body, invincible power, you will be immune to 50% physical, elemental, and spiritual attacks. Close black lens bracket. Strength. SSS level, immune to 50% of attacks? Strong? Leno was shocked. 50% doesn't sound like much, it's only half. But in a duel with a top player, you can be immune to half of the opponent's attack. What does it mean? Needless to say. Resist beating, plus a strong physique. Ordinary attacks are simply tickling. Indeed, Kaido's physique is basically immune to Luffy's damage below the 4th gear, and Leon's 4th gear is just sobering up. With the fusion of talents, a special power appeared on Leno's skin, causing his skin to change rapidly. Ding. It is detected that the host has similar talents, Gluttonous Demon King, Overlord Body, please find more similar talents, and integrate and improve, close black lens bracket. Okay. The system prompts again, asking Leno to raise his eyebrows. Gluttony Demon King, and Overlord Body, it is indeed a talent related to the body. But a SS level, an SSS level, can't be merged into an SSS level? Why? His Conquerors, just fine, could it be because the 2 have different talents? The system did not give an explanation. 0 Leno shook his head, he didn't think so much, and solved the trouble first. Laugh. Out of the shelling range, his figure disappeared in place like a bolt of lightning. Marijoy. Pangu City. Open black lens bracket Uranus close black lens bracket The shelling has stopped. 5 elders looked at the battlefield after the bombardment through the screen, and the perspective was overlooking from a high altitude. Because the CPOs and escorts near the battlefield were also within the shelling range and had all been killed. To get history back on track, sacrifices are inevitable. As long as you can extinguish that lamp that disrupts Lord Im's prophecy, everything is worth it. They nodded in satisfaction. The red line, which was originally in the shape of Ko, is now missing a piece, and it has become a concave character. Dead silence. Within a radius of 10 miles, it looks like a huge, boiling hot frying pan sunken 300 meters down. The whole ground, the red soil is boiling hot, exuding scorched hot air, and the boulders have already been crushed or crystallized. Everything has changed from extremely dry and noisy to quiet. Whitebeard, Dragon, Garp, Charlotte Linlin, including Morgans, all disappeared. Of course, Leno and Kaido are also included. Whitebeard, Big Mom, they didn't seem to be dead, but jumped off the red line after being injured. Morgans fly away. Don't worry about them. Let them watch the battle. It's best to kill them. If they can't be killed, it's also a deterrent. Aspiring people, a mess, a little provocation, 4 emperors will not be successful. Leno and Kaido are at the center of the Uranus attack. There is absolutely no way they can escape. Is the light off? Not only to turn off the lights, the death of Leno and Kaido, but also to give a warning to those restless people. Let them know that we are still the ones who rule the world, not pirates or hunters. Well, Lord Im's decision is wise, and there will be no mistakes. By the way, let the people of East Blue do something to Aegea. Get rid of Crow, Luwell, Gordon. Where's Kuzan? Contact him. If he is willing to cooperate, we can support him and serve as the president of the Hunters Guild. Like, that's Stussy. Well, letting them outside may have other effects. Hunter Guild is actually very good. The 5 elders discussed how to use the Hunter Guild to do things that are inconvenient for the world government. Sudden. Boom. In the sky of Marijoy, a thunderclap shook Pangu City, causing the 5 elders to stand up in surprise. What happened? The Uranus attack is over, isn't it? Puzzled, 5 elders came to the window and looked up. Laugh. A knife slash, like a nail, pierced in fiercely, tearing a hole in the energy shield of the sky. 5 elders, I heard that you were eyeing me. Come, let me chat with you. An angry growl, breaking in from outside, resounded through Marijoy. What? 5 elders, celestial dragons, looked up in shock. There are also many slaves underground in Marijoy. It is unbelievable that anyone dares to call 5 elders. Not 5.4, Tiger is back? Celestial dragons are stunned. The Tiger incident had made their hearts ache for a long time. Many excellent slaves were let go by that guy. No, Tiger, you're not so arrogant, are you? Now, who is the fierce man again? Boom. The next moment, a figure rushed in. The tall body exuding a tyrannical, destructive, and ferocious aura stood above Marijoy. His silver hair fluttered, and he held 2 knives, as if he was holding a knife and fork, as if he wanted to choose someone to eat. It's him. That blue sea bug, Leno, isn't he dead? How is it possible? How did he jump out? 5 elders, celestial dragons, all of a sudden, their hairs stood on end. Chi. The golden light in Leno's eyes scattered lightning. Open black lens bracket power close black lens bracket. The Conqueror's Haki was released, and the golden aura burst out, spreading instantly, like a god coming to the world, suppressing all things. Thump. Those CPOs and guards who took off on the 6th style, moonwalk, landed one after another like dumplings. Not to mention those celestial dragons, they only felt that their consciousness was being hammered down, and they rolled their eyes and rushed to the street. Wanton Zhongyang, with undisguised strength, turned into a hurricane, and the terrifying breath enveloped Marijoy. Recently, from Sabodi to Hancock to this battle, Leno was disgusted by celestial dragons. So, at this moment, Leno unleashes his anger to the fullest, directing it to his power zone. Conqueror's shock, sweeping celestial dragons. What? He? Impossible. 5 elders looked up, they didn't faint, they stared at Leno, their eyes and faces were full of shock. Why? What's the matter with his courage? At this time, the mood of 5 elders was the same as that of Hancock and CPO when they saw Leno's conquerors. Leno turned his head and looked at 5 elders. Chapter 96 Celestial Dragons kneel. The truth forced the 5 elders to compromise. Marijoy. In the sky, the golden conqueror's Haki, wantonly Zhongyang said, open black lens bracket power close black lens bracket like Kamui, all things kneel down. This kind of power is extremely overbearing. Even Hancock, who has conqueror's Haki, was hit by the earthquake after losing his hard defense. And it can be improved and strengthened after fighting and defeating the strong with conqueror's Haki. It can be said that this is the stronger courage obtained after conquering a person who has the qualification of king. The true overlord who stands above everyone else. This momentum is shocking. The celestial dragons, slaves, CPOs, escorts who were close, were directly unconscious. Those who are far away can't help but kneel down. Even some celestial dragons, trembling, could not help but kneel. Like a mortal, a god, some celestial dragons feel incredible. Why? A person from the blue ocean, does he have the spirit of a god? This power, not only them, but the 5 elders were dumbfounded. What's going on? How could he possess a power similar to Lord Iam's? Could it be that he is a descendant of Lord Iam? But, they are not in the Valley of the Gods. 5 elders' scalp tingled. I just feel like my brain is going to explode. Accident. What a surprise. It was surprising enough that Leno didn't die. But the power on his body made them even more confused. Because the Conqueror's impact needs to be experienced up close and personal to understand what is going on. Therefore, when Leno and Kaido fought fiercely, the 5 elders and celestial dragons did not pay too much attention. No, Roger, once he became the queen of the One Piece, he also possessed a similar power, Kamui. However, Roger is different. What he inherited is D.S. will, which used to be the power to rule the world. This person, while the 5 elders are messing around. Leno turned his head suddenly, looked at them sharply. Laugh, as his hair fluttered, arcs flickered, then. He disappeared in midair and appeared outside the window like a flash of lightning. Cut it off. The glass in front of the 5 elders, shatter. Ka. The black sparks from Conqueror's collision spread, and a strange knife blocked Leno's face. 5 elders with bald heads and glasses. Conqueror's Haki released pale gold from his eyes, and confronted Leno. This is not a place for you to mess around, he looked stern. The knife 29 in his hand spread a strange dark purple color. One of the supreme sharp swords, the first-generation demon sword, Ghost Toru. Roll. Leno's response was simple and direct, boom. Dragon Sparrow. In Leno's hand, lingering around the armed color, the arrogance of Conqueror's Haki suddenly pressed down. Click. The hard seastone floor tiles actually shattered. The bald 5 elders suddenly changed their complexion. What a terrifying power. 1 second. Leno's knife sent the bald 5 elders flying, hitting a pillar. It was a stone pillar carved out of sea stone, so it didn't collapse, but cracks appeared one after another. The other 4 or 5 elders, eyes shocked. The bald 5 elders, but the strongest of them all. Leno is very indifferent. Leno in full moon devil form. Even Kaido can be tyrannical, let alone an old man? Even if, this old man is one of the people who rule the world. How long has it been since they fought? Leno had just left the battlefield. The spirit of defeating the strongest creature in the world, burning with blood and fighting spirit, is extremely exciting. Many people think that 5 elders must be extremely powerful. But this is a misunderstanding. 5 elders mighty. Not combat power, but power. The rulers of all countries in the world have basically average personal strength. They rule the country not only by their own force, but also by the system, army, and subordinates in their hands. 5 elders, too, do they need to fight? Unnecessary? An order, marine, CP, etc., various agencies of the world government, how many people work for it? Of course, there are also strong ones among them, who exercise themselves, such as the bald 5 elders. The person who can subdue the first-generation demon sword, Ghost Toru, is naturally not bad, and he is definitely a powerful swordsman. But so what? Without the protection of Marine and others, even Fisher Tiger can retreat and escape under their noses. Revolutionary Army Sabo et al. During the World Summit, he broke into Marijoy and took away the Tyrant Bear in front of Marine and CP. On the future island of Vegapunk, there is also an 800-year-old mech that once climbed the Red Line to make trouble. These are enough to show that the personal force of the 5 elders is not so strong as to be exaggerated, including Marijoy. It's also just an ordinary city. What really deters the world is Uranus, and I am, and it is the huge institutions of the world government. And make up the world government and support the various affiliated countries where it exists. Use the description of Gion, that is, collective. With celestial dragons at its core. The aristocracy of each member country is dependent. Marine, CP and other institutions are minions, great domination, collective. When the 5 elders and celestial dragons found that this group was not stable, they also began to seek the power zone of technology. Trying to rely on robots that only follow orders to protect themselves. Swipe, swoosh, swoosh. One by one, strong men protecting the celestial dragons gathered from all directions. Arrogant. A figure shot towards Leno like lightning, and the thunderlight flickered, quickly hitting Leno's back. He is a fur tribe, the static electricity on the fur is his means of attack, and those who are hit will be paralyzed. But, Leno didn't feel anything, superior body, granted him 50% elemental immunity, he turned around and looked at him. Boom. A soul-stirring sight came oppressively, making the fur tribe nervous and afraid to move. Then, Leno's knife struck out. Laugh, the air seemed to be split by the sharp edge. Puff, blood splashed, and the fur tribe was split in half. Hiss. The sound of inhalation sounded. Leno's eyes were cold, and his vicious aura made one's scalp tingle. The people who came here instinctively walked forward. But the instinctive fear is only for a moment, more people rushed forward. Most of these people are loyal dogs domesticated by celestial dragons. They have been rooted into thinking of loyalty since childhood, and they are not afraid of death. Court death. Leno stepped forward, puff puff. There were sword lights flickering continuously, and with one slash, one person was beheaded, and the ground was stained red with blood. The corpses piled up like dumplings. 5 elders' mouths went dry, and one started to vomit. Bloody, so bloody, they don't think much of it when Leno tyrannizes Kaido. But when this scene appeared in front of him, the one who died was one of our own. 5 elders' heart, cool in the future, watch and experience firsthand. The degree of horror is completely different. Captain level combat power, 10,000? 5 elders rocked. Crazy, this is crazy. Hundreds of corpses were piled on the ground. Blood flowed into the ditches, emitting a sickening smell. The people who rushed to help stopped in their tracks and fell silent. Giving away people's heads, not like this. Whoever goes up will be hit with a knife? The guy on the other side is not human at all, it's a devil. The devil who harvests life. Fear is spreading. When Leno stopped, appeared again. His knife was bleeding. Drop by drop. With an aura of destruction, tyranny, and bloodthirsty, the golden eyes were stained with a touch of blood red. It made him look cold and violent. Murderous. Leno exhaled slowly, his will resisted, and from his heart, there was a constant, crazy killing intent. This feeling, like contracting mania, rage filled his mind, making him eager to kill. He has maintained the full moon demon king form for too long, his body is overloaded, and he has the idea of destruction. If it is controlled by these, it will completely become a monster that loses its mind, until it is exhausted and dies in battle. Now, how should it end? Leno held the knife and looked at the other 5 elders. Should I cut you off, make a big fuss, let everyone die together, let the world see a joke, or, do you want to talk to me? Leno squinted. His observation Haki can vaguely sense a danger that hides like a lion majesty, but doesn't let it out. This guy doesn't seem to care about 5 elders' life or death. That's right, the 5 elders are dead, and they can be exchanged for others. As long as I am alive, the threat of Uranus will be there. The 5 elders were silent. Well, I don't care anyway, it's a good way to die with so many celestial dragons buried with you, right? Leno was casual and turned to leave. Wait, the blonde 5 elders shouted hastily. Leno didn't stop. Damn. The 5 elders looked at each other, although they could see that Leno was not in the right shape, but who would bet on when he would die? In case, before he died, he really dragged Marijoy to hell with him. Isn't that the end of the calf? Live well, everyone, okay? No need to play with lunatics, curly-haired 5 elders hurriedly said. What conditions do you have? Oh, Leno stopped, turned around and said, my conditions, 1. You are in East Blue, what arrangements are there, all stop. 5 elders looked at each other, nodded and said, good. Leno said, call now. Facing Leno's threat, 5 elders frowned. Although there is anger in my heart, there is nothing I can do about it. They are jealous and afraid. The bald 5 elders dialed the person in charge of East Blue's arrangement. Now, regarding the arrangement of Hunter Guild, all stop. Huh? 4, why? Have you done it yet? No, not yet, we have arrived near Elegia, and we are confronting the room. Elegia under reconstruction. In the open sea, the sea surface is frozen, Kuzan's body is covered with ice, and the chill seeps into his body. On the sea, more than 20 ships belonging to the world government that were painted with pirate flags were blocked by the horizontal ice. A large number of world government staff disguised as pirates landed with knives and guns. There are also 3 men in white robes, surrounding Kuzan. There are battle marks on the ice. Stop, all retreat, the bald 5 elders said. What? Do you have any questions? No, no, no. Yes. We will retreat immediately. The voice of the phone bug is played externally, and Leno can also hear it. Let him give the phone bug to Kuzan, Leno said. The bald 5 elders glared, but Leno glared back. He gritted his teeth and said, give Kuzan the phone bundle. Yes. Kuzan was a little surprised when he got the phone bug, but the next moment, he was no longer surprised. I'm Leno. I was invited by 5 elders to come to Marijoy as a guest. Tisk, the scenery of Marijoy is really good, it's a pity to destroy it. Kuzan understood in seconds, with a look of shock on his stern face. Leno actually broke into Marijoy? Obviously, he also encountered an accident when he fought Kaido, and the world government took action. But what exactly happened? Kuzan couldn't imagine what happened in a few words. He calmly said, Elregia is fine. Leno breathed a sigh of relief. He didn't kill 5 elders, celestial dragons, he just worried about the situation in East Blue. Those guys, have you withdrawn? Retreating? Where are you? Well, don't worry about me. The 5 elders are very warm to me, and the celestial dragons are also very cute. Okay, I'll wait for you to come back. Leno and Kuzan finished the call, and after knowing each other's information, they had confidence in the next move. He looked at 5 elders. My second condition, I will not disclose what happened today, and Marijoy has not been invaded. In the next 5 years, we will each go our own way and coexist peacefully. 5 elders made eye contact, nodded, and said, okay. There is no proof in words, let's make a written proof. It's called, Treaty of Peaceful Coexistence. You, don't be too obvious, 5 elders gritted their teeth. Huh? Is this too much? Then I contact Morgans. Big news, this is big news. Leno held the phone bug, ready to dial. Stant, 5 elders said. After receiving the signature of 5 elders and stamped with the official seal of the world government, Leno put it away with a smile. The third condition, 090, you, come here, okay? Curly 5 elders was amazed. That guy stayed with 5 stars? Outside Pangu City. The rescuers who came from everywhere looked at Leno's knife and the 5 elders next to him, and no one dared to move. Safe departure from Marijoy. Open black lens bracket royal wind close black lens bracket. Leno raised his knife. The hurricane roared, rolled up the wind and sand, covered the sky and the sun, and rushed towards Marijoy, blocking everyone's sight. He then grabs the curly-haired 5 elders and heads quickly to the red line. Leno's condition is not good, he needs to hurry up. Unfortunately, the Lion Majesty, never showed up. For the time being, it's not the time to completely tear your skin apart. Dash into Marijoy and meet the 5 elders. Leno's purpose has been achieved. A silent warning. He can come once today, and as long as he is alive, he can come a second time. As long as he doesn't die. 5 elders, and celestial dragons will be afraid, and unless they are absolutely sure, they dare not make a move easily. The current Leno is tantamount to strategic deterrence, similar to Uranus. Its existence makes all countries fear. As for holding a 5 elders hostage, on the one hand, it's easy to leave. On the other hand, Leno is worried about Uranus, and there is another shot. Without Kaido, he can only run with 5 elders on his shoulders. Open black lens bracket Uranus close black lens bracket. It didn't fire, it was like a black shadow, blocking the moonlight, hanging quietly in the sky. It is very dangerous, Leno's intuition. There is a huge shadow, which seems to be guarding open black lens bracket Uranus close black lens bracket. The pursuers in the rear were not in a hurry, neither dared to push Leno too hard. Dare to lose. Afraid he chopped off curly hair 5 elders. They worry too much. Leno isn't that crazy yet. The consequences it brings are much more terrifying than hitting Marijoy. It is a war with no room for turning around. Think about it, if you fight celestial dragons, you will dispatch Admiral, Buster call fleets, and kill a 5 elders. Enemy of the world. Hunter Guild. It is impossible to exist anymore. The world government will retaliate wildly, at all costs. This runs counter to Leno's goal. But, is Leno's current behavior alright? Certainly. The compromise of the 5 elders proved that this matter can still be negotiated and has not risen to the point of war. To put it bluntly, there is a bottom line between each other. As long as you don't cross it, everything is easy to talk about. For example, the collusion between world government and Kaido, each takes what it needs. Even if Fisher Tiger made such a big event, he still jumped for 2 or 3 years. The last crew member, Jinbe, also became 7 warlords of the sea. It can be seen that the world government maintains balance, stability, and harmony in consideration of the overall situation and interests. They are not pirates who flip the table at every turn. As long as the interests are large enough, they can also cooperate with Leno. Leno took 5 elders, came to the edge of the red line, turned around and stabbed. Set off a hurricane to stop the pursuers. Open black lens bracket frozen close black lens bracket. The talent shines, the cold freezes the curly 5 elders. Thank you for your hospitality, come back next time. You're welcome. No next time. Before being completely frozen, the curly-haired 5 elders looked calm. Chapter 97 Kaido's defeat shocked the world, and a new emperor was born. Hoo-hoo. The wind blows in the ears. Leno jumped off the red line, not letting his guard down, looking at the sky. Dangerous intuition, no medicine, see the future. A screen appears. 3 seconds later, a red light shot from the sky, piercing through his body like a sharp arrow. Open black lens bracket Uranus close black lens bracket. Leno was vigilant from beginning to end. It, together with Pluton and Poseidon, are also known as the 3 ancient weapons of war, possessing the power to destroy the world. Perhaps it was relying on Uranus that celestial dragons defeated that huge kingdom and buried its history. There is no doubt that open black lens bracket Uranus close black lens bracket is one of the last cards of celestial dragons. The reason why it is one. It is because there is no deeper understanding, and it is not clear what else the celestial dragons have obtained in the past 800 years. Uranus obviously has more than one attack method, and the beam of light that destroys the island is just one of them. The calmness of the curly hair 5 elders shows that he is full of confidence in open black lens bracket Uranus close black lens bracket. Indeed, sea, land and air. Air combat has advantages, and threats to the ground and sea vary from sky to sky. Be it myth or reality, the one who controls the sky is the one who rules the world. Coming, Leno opened his eyes. Can't move. Leno, who was about to move away as planned, stopped abruptly. In Leno's eyes, a red light descended from high above the sky. It was silent and possessed the speed of light. In an instant, it spans a distance of tens of thousands of meters and runs through the sea. Hiss. Sweat broke out on Leno's brow. The beam almost brushed his arm. Even his multiple defenses were ineffective. A scorched black wound appeared. It's hard to imagine that this thing was created by people 800 years ago, and it's an old antique with great power. Leno gritted his teeth. He had to find a way to get open black lens bracket, Pluton close black lens bracket, or similar technology. It was a threat. Just now, Leno seemed to have done nothing, but he had played a game. He was almost seeing the future. I got ready and counted the time silently. He didn't make any extra moves, so as not to change the future. He planned to teleport in the microseconds that appeared in the future. With his explosive power, it's totally possible, but when Leno was about to do that, he had a super intuition and told him it was dangerous. Leno trusted his instincts. He didn't move, and judging from the results, as long as he moved, he happened to bump himself into the beam, and he would be penetrated. In the game, there's a saying, tell me to predict your prediction, and then anti-prediction. The game between masters is in the details. Many predictions are due to subtle calculations and experience. There is another saying, called rookie Graham's master. Sometimes, not doing bells and whistles and not moving at all can just avoid predictions. Open black lens bracket, royal wind close black lens bracket. Leno survived. Swing the knife now. Every time he swung his knife, countless wind blades rolled towards the sky, forming a storm of blades. This both obscures the line of sight and deters enemies attempting to pursue them. Wait for the endless wind blade to dissipate. Leno was nowhere to be seen. No second beam of light fell from the sky. Faintly, there was the sound of angry thunder, which was deafening, and the thunder and lightning flashed, reflecting a huge black shadow. Curly 5 elders thawed out and returned to Pangu City. The other 4 are already arranging for the aftermath. First, Leno shocks Marijoy, stunning a large group of people, many of whom are celestial dragons, in need of reassurance. Secondly, this incident has made 5 elders and celestial dragons lose face and cannot spread the word. Then, related news, newspapers' reactions, and the resulting public opinion need to be quelled. Finally, there's Leno. For the first 3 matters, 5 elders has handled government affairs for many years and is familiar with the road, so it is not troublesome. In the end, how to deal with Leno gave 5 people a headache. This guy, we underestimate him. He is a bigger problem than 4 emperors and Roger. What is his origin? Let the CPO re-investigate. What about the plan for Hunter Guild, how to deal with it? Put it on hold for now. That's right, Leno is the root cause. As long as he doesn't die, what if he destroys the Hunters Guild? Also, the spirit in him. Suddenly, 5 elders heard a special voice, looked at each other, and said, it's Lord I Am calling us. 5 elders walked into the depths of Pangu City together. Blue Ocean. Whether it is the 4 seas, the New World, or the Paradise section, the people gathered here all look up. No sound. Degree. Finished. What's going on? Who won? No news. All kinds of discussions and speculations are happening. Not long ago, there were bursts of noise from above, and there were even earth-shattering explosions, but now it is extremely quiet. Lord Leno. On the ship of the Kuja pirates, Hancock puts his hands on his chest, worried. Sabo de Archipelago, Marine Command. Guion held the phone. Kuina sat quietly in the chair. Have you retreated? How is the battle going? Kuina pricked up her ears. I don't know, this. I have to ask Sengoku Oyan. Hey. Guion hung up the phone, inexplicably irritable. That guy won't die, will he? She gritted her teeth. She thought for a while, then made another call, and said, Sister He, do you know the situation? I stayed at the headquarters, how could I know? Crane Vice Admiral said. Hey, then, ask Sengoku Admiral for me. Sengoku? He has a lot of things to deal with now. Wait for him to return to the headquarters, what do you care about? No, nothing, feeling guilty. Guion quickly hung up the phone, shrugged at Kuina, and said, no news, we can only wait slowly. Kuina said calmly, he's fine, real? Guion was surprised and asked, how do you know? Intuition. Somewhere in paradise, huge bird shadows flew past. News on board. The shadow of the bird fell on the wall. The uncontrollable excitement made Morgans, who cleaned the photos, snort. Big news, big news, big news tomorrow. Kaido is defeated. How will he and Leno live or die? Without a doubt, the world will focus on this new world. The waves were churning. Moby Dick, the crew of the Whitebeard pirates, waited nervously. Look out. Vista was holding a binoculars, looking around, in case Marine attacked, his pupils shrank. Look, it's Margot, old Dick. Following his shout, the crew cheered up and turned their heads to look. The Phoenix, burning with blue flames, soared past, tugged at Whitebeard's shoulders, and returned to the ship. Daddy. Margot. The crew gathered around and found that Whitebeard had some scars on his shoulders and back, and bloodline was flowing. They were suddenly surprised. Father, what's the matter? Gu la, a little injury, don't be nervous. Whitebeard laughed, not paying attention. Margot blamed himself very much. Dad was hurt because he was protecting me. I dragged Dad down. The beam fell, and Whitebeard used his back to protect Margot, only to be injured. Whitebeard clapped his generous hand on his shoulder and said with a smile, "Margot, don't blame yourself. Without you, I can't get down from above. Protecting you is also protecting myself. Besides, you are my son. It is the most natural thing for a father to protect his son." "Dad." Margot was moved to tears. He took the ship's doctors, sat Whitebeard down, and began to treat Whitebeard's wounds. Thatch prepares food for Whitebeard. "Hey, Dad, is the fight over?" "Yes." The other captains gathered around, curious. Yeah, we're down there, but it's tense." "Did Kaido win? That Leno, it's really amazing to last for so long." Yes, when we fought Kaido, I got hit and passed out, unconscious." "That guy, what a monster," captains discuss. Gu la la la. Whitebeard laughed when he heard what they said, picked up a big wine gourd and poured wine into his mouth. Marco asked, "Everyone thinks that Kaido won and ended the fight?" "Huh, isn't it?" Margau's rhetorical question made the boat instantly quiet. Even Blackbeard Teach, who was sitting alone in the corner and munching on long bread, cast a surprised look. Boom. Whitebeard finished half a jug of wine, put the wine gourd aside, laughed and said, "No, Kaido lost." "What?" Joes opened his mouth wide. Vista raised his beard and said incredulously, "What?" Guy, Kaido, lost? Heads up, lost? Did I hear you right, didn't you, Dad?" The captain of the UAZ pirates, was all dumbfounded, staring at Whitebeard intently. Gu la la la, that's right, Kaido lost. Whitebeard's laughter shook people's hearts, making the sea seem to be quiet, and was frightened by these words. Big Mom Pirates. The bandaged cracker opened his mouth wide, looking at the returning Charlotte Linlin and her news. Smoothie held the big sword and raised his long legs, stunned. Katakuri folded his arms with a dignified expression. Charlotte Linlin's clothing was torn, but there were no obvious injuries. She and Whitebeard were only on the verge of shelling, and when they sensed something was wrong, they ran away immediately. The attack suffered, equivalent to a blow from other four emperors, was not violent. "Mum, Kaido lost to Leno. I saw with my own eyes that a new emperor was born on the sea." Charlotte Linlin sang, and the Hosmus on board echoed, "A new emperor is born." But, her singing stopped abruptly, and her fat face was gloomy, with some gloating. "They, Wei Nang pigs are dead. The sons and daughters on the boat all exclaimed. A stormy sea. The new world has a changeable climate and a messy environment. Therefore, this piece of rainy sea alone did not attract the attention of passing marines. "Dragon, how's it going? Are you all right?" "In the wind and rain," the hooded dragon said, "it's all right." "Where's Leno boy?" Ivankov asked. "He won, he hop, awesome, amazing." "But, what's the matter, dragon?" The dragon breathed a sigh of relief and said, "Celestial dragons, you used that weapon again." "Kaido, Leno, life and death are in doubt." Ivankov was shocked. "Is it the kind of weapon that can destroy an island with one shot?" "Okay." Long sighed, he shook his head and said, "For details, please read the news and reaction from the world government tomorrow." How did Kaido and Leno live and die? For dragons who are familiar with the world government, the clues can be seen from the news. If there is a big report, it means that the two will die or be arrested. If there is no sound, it means that they have escaped. That kind of powerful bombardment, if it is in the center, I will hardly escape. Garp held his nose. Long didn't speak. The father and son were silent. The wind and rain hit the shore. Long prepares to leave. Garp stared at his back and said, "If you have time, go back and see your son. That guy was spoiled by pirates, and he shouted all day long to become the king of pirates." "Pirates?" The dragon's cloak, circling in the wind? "Luffy. As long as you can live according to your own ideas, there is nothing wrong with being a pirate." Garp looked at the dragon leaving with the wind and rain, scratched his hair, and said distress-edly, "Really, it's too willful." He looks around. "In the dark sea, I don't know the position, I don't know the direction. Hey, why don't you send me to Marine Base, when the sky lights up? The morning sun shines on the world." One after another, the news birds flew to all parts of the world, in all directions. Whiskey Peak. K-Lock Doll stayed up all night, waiting for the news of last night's big battle, which was related to his next plan. Accompanied by the chirping of the newsbird, Lock Doll bought today's special issue, even if he paid double the price for it. He opens the newspaper. The title is black and bold, simple and clear. Shocked. Kaido of the Beasts defeated. Morgans is well versed in the truth of the news headline. Shocked the party, and just a few words can make the sand crocodile's veins twitch. He was smoking a cigar, and his eyes fell on the picture. The slightly blurred picture is an overhead shot. At the bottom of the huge pit, Kaido's tall body was lying on his back, his mouth was open and his eyes were rolling, and bloodline flowed from his mouth. A figure with long flowing silver-white hair weighed heavily on his chest, surrounded by stones that were blown away. The pictures are very impactful. Lock Doll immediately imagined that Kaido was hit by a knee, pressed hard into the ground, fainted and defeated. Damn, why? That guy beat Kaido, Ridiculous, how ridiculous. Lockdolf's mentality exploded, and the golden poisonous hook in his left hand smashed into pieces the desk and blew up his plan. Misty Sea. Master, big news, amazing. Like a gust of wind, Absalom quickly ran across the cemetery, rushed into the castle, and knocked Perona flying. Hey, you bastard, what's going on? Really? I hate it. Perona spun around in midair, of Nuo Qian's, jumping angrily. Deep in the castle, the fat house gecko Moria, who was still sleeping soundly, was awakened by the light that Absalom opened the curtain. An angry Moria rubbed her eyes and howled loudly, "You're dead, Shalom." Master, read the newspaper first, Absalom said excitedly. What? Moria looked at the newspaper, her pupils shrank suddenly, she wiped her eyes uncertainly, and stared wide. Guy, Kaido? Lost. Moria's exclamation pierced through the fog, like a ghostly howl, adding terror to the area. East Blue, Aegea. Boom. Robin rushed across the corridor in a hurry and pushed open the door of the meeting room with shock on his face. Brush. In the meeting room, Kuzan, Crow, Luwell, Gordon, and Uda sat quietly. Last night, no one fell asleep. Not only worried about Leno, but also encountered several waves of attacks and destruction, although retreated, who would dare to be careless? Their gazes all looked at Robin and the newspaper in her hand. Because it is a big war that the world is paying attention to, a special issue is printed, and there is a strong smell of ink on it. This kind of newspaper needs to be ordered in advance before it will be delivered in time by a special newsbird. Robin looked at them, and excitedly said incoherently, Win, yes, the president won. She hastily put the newspaper on the table, and the headlines occupy almost half of the page, making it easy for people to understand. Kaido is defeated. Who is the winner? Do you still have to ask? Great, I knew it. Luwell jumped up, hugged Robin, and laughed happily. Kuzan, Gordon, and Crow were relatively calm, while Uda shook his small fist, happy for Leno's victory. She even got inspired and wanted to write a song. Kaido, lost? Impossible. The new emperor, the leader of the hunter, Leno. New world, Grand Line, Universal. The news keeps spreading. The whole world was shocked by this, and Leno and Hunter's Guild instantly became the hot topic of discussion in the world. Chapter 98 Kaido is dead, and the new emperor will be established. Upgrade to the admiral level combat power. The news of Kaido's defeat spread rapidly in Four Seas, Paradise, and New World, shocking everyone. Before the battle, all kinds of news, looking down on Leno, preached Kaido's strength. Now, the wind has changed. Another group of people stood up to praise Leno and belittle Luo. And this is just one day. Even, the columnist who used to blackmail Leno now has the attitude of being a 10-year-old fan of Leno. While making people laugh and cry, it also feels incredible. Of course, there are also a group of people who are yelling. What shit, 4 emperors, what strongest creature? Trash, a proper trash, you can't even beat an East Blue person? This, lose money. Fake match, definitely a fake match, too fake, Kaido and Leno, partnering to steal money. I was bankrupt, the red line was too high, I couldn't go up, so I had to jump into the sea. Unexpectedly, the sea was full of people. Gamblers from all over the world, their faces turned green at this time, cursed Kaido collectively, wishing they could drown him with a spit. In New World, Wanokuna's news is blocked, so there is no movement. But, the beast's pirates, outside of Wano-kuni, have been attacked by countless powerful pirates. Kaido is down, brothers, the position of 4 emperors is ours. Kaido is dead, the new throne, kill, this is the best chance to seize the position of 4 emperors. Facing the impact of many pirates living in the cracks of the 4 emperors, Jin, Quinn, and Jack quelled chaos everywhere. With his personal strength, he finally defeated the first wave of offensive. Brother Jin, the governor, is he really dead? Whoa. Jack was in a bandage, crying loudly. Quinn was silent with his pipe in his mouth. Jin's tone was indifferent, and said, if you want to cry, go to the side and cry. If the governor died so easily, he would have died long ago. His words were so loud that all the pirates under his command could hear them, and people with different thoughts were awe-inspiring. That's right, Kaido, where is it so easy to die? 4 emperors not killed. Marine can't be killed. Moreover, Kaido's defeat is not a big news for the beast's pirates. This time it will be a hit. It's just because, before Kaido was defeated, it was a one-on-one fight against a group, but now it's a one-on-one fight. As long as Kaido doesn't die, he will be stronger next time. Jin looked at them, regained his confidence, sighed inwardly, and glanced at the newspaper. Kaido was really defeated? Sabo de Archipelago, in the auction house. Doflamingo and Tezzolo sat opposite each other, looking at each other silently. I don't know what to say. Yes, only fortunately. Fortunately, they didn't provoke Leno at that time, otherwise, it would be very miserable, right? 077 Marine Base. Commander Gion. The 2 lieutenant colonels saluted quickly when they saw Momosagi Gion. Gion nodded at them. Wait for her to pass. Hey, just now, Gion Vice Admiral, did you smile at us? Wow, you are indeed a marine goddess. Did you find out too? It seems that Guion Vice Admiral is quite satisfied with our recent performance. Really? Oh, I'm motivated. Guion was in a good mood and came to the training ground to watch Kuina train. Shaki's ripped off bar. I didn't expect that he actually did it. With a cigarette in his hand and his chin resting on his other hand, Shaki looked at the newspaper at the bar, full of surprise. Outside the bar, Buggy was laughing loudly, shouting something in his mouth, but he was quite proud anyway, as if he was the winner. Some passers-by thought they were insane. Haha, it's a new era. That guy is really strong. Give him a few more years, he can surpass Roger. Rayleigh held the wine glass and smiled happily. Roger, it's your captain. Is that all right? Overtake him? Shaki said. What is the relationship? Rayleigh didn't mind. He thought of what Leno said and said it to Shaki. No era is permanent, and the end of a dynasty is bound to be accompanied by the rise of a new power. In the future, the legend of Roger will eventually come to an end and be replaced by a new legend. This is history. Shaki laughed. Oh, it seems, you're looking forward to it. Daughter Island. Inside the palace, Hancock held a newspaper and said with a happy face, Lord Leno really won. Our Lord Leno is the best, Master Leno, Guo Nuo Tianren. The 9 snake pirates cheered in unison. Gloriosa scratched her head. What's the matter? Hancock's disease, contagious. She was dumbfounded. Why, now even Jendon and the others start to worship Leno as celestial dragons. She just asked Leno to pretend to be celestial dragons to heal Hancock. How does it feel like she prescribes the wrong medicine? Is it getting worse? You can't be so nympho, ah hey. North Blue. Swallow Island. Hot news, Luo, the president of the East Blue Hunter Guild, defeated the 4 emperors Kaido 2 days ago. Home of the Har Pirates, room. The young Trafalgar Law is training with Babo and Shaki. Said it was training. It's more like a joke. And this pirate group, although it is a game among children, is the shelter of Luo after he escaped from the Don Quixote family. He tries to develop his op fruit abilities, after Rocinante's death. He once hated this ability and was afraid. Even if he healed himself and his companion's life with this, its existence is too dangerous. Open black lens bracket. Of course, what is dangerous is not the fruit itself, but the temptation it can bring to people by performing the eternal life surgery. Eternal life. Who wouldn't want it? The world government, pirates, and major forces are all coveting. The way to use the ability depends on the good or evil in a person's heart. If the person who uses this ability has evil thoughts in his heart, he will eventually suffer the consequences. In the end, it was Wolf, the great inventor who took him in, persuaded him, and gave him a new calendar. Luo firmly believes in his dream of becoming an excellent doctor, and promises that this ability will only be used to save people. Suddenly, Peijin's voice came. Hey, Pekin, what are you talking about? Kaido, that's the big monster of New World, defeated? Sha-Chi jumped off the stake, with a look of disbelief. How is it possible? Babo the white bear nodded. Really, it's all written in the news. I managed to get the newspaper. Pekin held up the newspaper in his hand. Huh? Really? Luo walked over, read the newspaper, and was shocked. This is a North Blue newspaper that reprinted a report from the World Economic News Service. The new emperor? The strongest hunter in the world? Hunt the king of beasts? The content of the news remains largely intact, just the title changed a bit. Hey, the world's strongest hunter, Hunter's Guild, has once again made a splash, isn't it, Luo? Luo couldn't hide his shock, he was with the Don Quixote family. From their mouths, I learned about Kaido's strength. That is the existence that makes the vicious Doflamingo feel afraid, and now it is defeated? Peijin joked. Hunter, it's not bad, Luo, otherwise we won't be pirates anymore, let's be hunters. Hey, that's a good suggestion. Hunters sound better than pirates, so don't be hated by everyone, Sha-Chi said. Hearing what the little friend said, Luo fell into deep thought. 5 days have passed. The shock and heated discussion around the world began to fade away. What makes all parties strange is that the world government has remained silent on the Kaido and Leno battle. Neither Kaido lost nor Leno lost, like, that battle never happened. This is basically the same as the attitude before the war, a look of, we don't pay attention, and, don't care. What about Marine? Marine didn't move at all, quiet. So quiet. The atmosphere is eerie. Not only that, Kaido and Leno, the 2 protagonists in the duel, never showed up. This kind of atmosphere is confusing. The operation of the Hunter Guild is still normal, and there is no publicity internally, just acknowledging the news of the victory. Then, following an unknown gossip, it seemed to give an answer to the whereabouts of the 2 of them. Shocking. Kaido of the Beasts, the leader of the Hunter, Leno, was seriously injured in the battle and his whereabouts are unknown. It turned out that both parties were injured and were recuperating. But that's just the beginning. A piece of gossip news, various speculations, published in the newspapers, once again attracted people's attention. Shocked. Kaido and Leno were secretly arrested by the world government. My god. The world's strongest creature, the world's strongest hunter, both died, dead Marijoy. Marine Admiral Sengoku denies Kaido, Leno arrested. According to an unnamed world government official, Marijoy has nothing to do with this incident, CJAD. The world government still gives Kaido the title of Four Emperors, indicating that there will be no bounty on the leader of the hunter, Leno. The world government declares that the Hunter Guild is a non-pirate organization and can become a member of the world government. It is reported that the leader of the hunter, Leno, is a celestial dragons. All kinds of news came out one after another, and many newspapers, for the sake of sales, were frantically making up stories to gain popularity. A well-known reporter publicly stated that Leno and the Hunters Guild supported all newspaper offices in 1511. Among them, the biggest winner is Open Black Lens Bracket Big journalist Close Black Lens Bracket Morgans, and his newspaper has been widely recognized because of this. The influence of the World Economic News Agency exceeds that of all newspapers under the world government. Just like Kuzan's resignation from Marine, it has sparked a debate about, where does Kuzan go? Now, where Kaido and Leno are, has become the hottest topic at the end of 1511. In the deep sea, schools of fish swim by. In the turbulent current, a scorched figure drifted with the current for 10 days, and he seemed to have died. A huge shark, smelling the scent, swam over, just about to open its mouth to the focal black figure. Boom! The seawater was oscillating, that was the sound of the beating heart, and the beast-like breath was revived, scaring away the sharks and fish schools. Kaido opened his eyes. The bruised body healed, only the broken left leg and the scars on the body did not recover. What a long sleep! Kaido spit out a series of bubbles and sat up in the current. Although Kaido is a demon fruit power, he is not afraid of the sea. Leno. The memory gradually recovered, Kaido lowered his head, and now there was a big, me, character on his chest. The X is from Odin, and the 10 is from Leno. That guy. Kaido gritted his teeth, and faintly felt that his kidney hurts. He remembered, in order to wake up his unconscious self, Leno actually stabbed his kidney twice. Have to. The tuba is useless, and the opportunity to practice the trumpet is gone. When Kaido wakes up, 10,000 meters under the sea. A dark world, silent and silent. A coated ship with the pirate flag flying was parked on the bottom of the sea, with a huge bald murloc sitting beside it. Click. Amidst the sound of eating, white bones were continuously thrown out and piled up outside the boat to form a hill. Among them, the huge skull made Mienjin tremble. That is the skull of the deep-sea demon Kurikan, who once destroyed countless ships that entered the deep sea. Now, it became the food of that demon king, including his ship Van der Daken, who was hacked to death with a single knife. Terrible existence. Mienjin saw that he was afraid, worried about himself, and was also eaten. Want to escape, but dare not escape. Hey, see you in Mienjin, go to the next place. Mienjin saw a shock. Yes, my lord. He quickly stood up, grabbed the iron chain, dragged the boat, and went hunting elsewhere. Regardless of land or deep sea. A powerful predator with its own hunting grounds. However, during this time, the monsters in the deep sea found themselves the prey. Ah, finally, I'm full. In the cabin. Leno burped and leaned back in his chair. Open black lens bracket ding. After training, your underwater breathing talent will be upgraded to a level, and your underwater activity time will be increased to 5 hours. Close black lens bracket. The system beeps. Oh, not bad. Leno exhales. In this deep sea, underwater breathing is very useful. He stood up and went to the mirror. The vigorous body and muscular contours are full of strength again, and the hair and pupils have returned to normal black. His height has increased slightly, reaching 241 centimeters, and his skin is extremely tough, which is hard to hurt by ordinary swords. Dropped red line that night. In order to avoid Uranus' search, Leno dived into the deep sea. Here is the world government, a land that has not yet been set foot. And after full moon demon king form ends, he will have a period of weakness and must eat a lot. During this period of time, he only needs to recover and heal his injuries. He doesn't need it at all, and he can't show up easily. Leno knows very well, as long as he lives, if you don't give the world government will send someone to catch him, and Crow from the Hunters Guild will be safe. This is the deterrent he gave to 5 elders and by breaking into Marijoy. Sending them a message, he, Leno, doesn't take the celestial dragons seriously and has no fear. People in Pirate World are holding and licking celestial dragons, even the dragons of the Revolutionary Army are very afraid. Leno is definitely an oddity. Princes and generals, would you rather be kind? Get in a hurry. Everyone play their lives. Who is afraid of whom? To protect myself. Leno asked Mienjin to meet, take a shot, and change places. Even, he worried that the 5 elders, would send people to the Fishmen Island. So, before he fully recovered, he didn't have the slightest thought of approaching. One word, go, man. Can you stretch and bend? I just started a big wave and entered a period of weakness. When it's time to be cowardly and dogged, I still have to give some respect. Remnants of blood are wandering everywhere, going forward indomitably, failing to learn. Sooner or later they will be chased and killed by a bunch of question marks. Something will happen to them. Finally, we can go out of the mountain. Leno opens the system panel. Open black lens bracket hostname. Leno close black lens bracket open black lens bracket real age, 18 years old, close black lens bracket. Battle talent. Armament Haki, SSS level. Overlord body, SSS level. Gluttonous Demon King, SS level. Yufeng, SS level. Freezing, SS level. Knowledge. Color Haki, SS rank. Swordmaster, SS rank. Conqueror's Haki, SS rank. Marine 6 styles, S rank. Murloc Karate, B rank. Auxiliary talent. Sense of music, SSS level. Swinging strong luck, SS level. Pianist, SS level. Craftsman soul, S level. Infection, S level. Underwater breathing, A level. Level. Gambling, level D. Shipwright, level D. Strength evaluation. The strongest hunter in the world, Admiral's combat power in the headquarters, after burning with blood and fire, has the courage to surpass the aptitude of the king, the young strong man. Now it's yours. Moment cast King system panel flare, minor changes. However, the evaluation of strength has undergone tremendous changes. Headquarters Admiral, beyond Garp? Leno just clenched his fist, the air exploded in his hands. The power is not inferior to Murloc Karate. Burned by blood and fire? You mean the fight with Kaido? The pursuit is no longer the future, but the present. The system's evaluation is really quite pertinent. I give you a thumbs up. Leno is in a good mood. Then, the next stop, the Fishmen Island, Poseidon, Shirahoshi. The main text of history can't be missed. Chapter 99, The World's Strongest Hunter, 7 Warlords of the Sea. Jinbe. One Piece world has a symmetrical habit, split of the red line. The isolation of the Grand Line. Also, Marijoy and the Fishmen Island. Their position is a very interesting symmetry. Marijoy, located above the red line. The Fishmen Island, located below Marijoy, is the minister of the 10,000-meter deep sea. Marijoy is the residence of the world's noble celestial dragons. The Fishmen Island is the birthplace of most Murlocs and mermaids. The former is respected by human beings. The latter is disgusted by human beings. One seems to be heaven, the other seems to be hell. It's really interesting. In such a seabed, there will be sunshine. In the dark and cold sea, a large ship exuding a ghostly light is slowly moving forward. It hangs the pirate flag and a skull with crossed swords. Flying Dutchman. Lettering on the sail. There's a skull with fangs growing out of the bow, and the hull has decayed in many places, but it can still sail normally. Flying Number. A legendary deep-sea ship. Leno stared in wonder at the light of the sea ahead. He is wearing Van der Daken's clothes today, a flowered shirt, cropped trousers, a pair of flip-flops, and a straw hat. Well, pretty cool. The Hunter Guild uniform that Leno wore before, in that kind of battle and transformation, completely turned into a tattered beggar's outfit. Only then did he wear Van der Daken's clothes, in his gaze. A sturdy sacred tree, rooted in the bottom of the sea, without knowing its end, exudes a faint light of the sun. Beside its tree roots, there is a huge bubble floating. The outline of the island can be seen faintly inside. Even if you have known it for a long time, it will still be shocking to see it with your own eyes. That's the Fishmen Island. Mienjin sees a childlike voice, full of innocence. That's Yangshu Eve. It transmits sunlight from the ground to the Fishmen Island. The Fishmen Island, which is located in the deep sea, will also have sunshine in the change of day and night. This is the blessing of the sun. Looking at the sun, his eyes were full of longing. After more than 10 days of getting along, Leno found that this guy's thinking was similar to that of a 6 or 7-year-old child, innocent and gullible. After Leno killed Van der Daken, he made him obedient with a few words and became his loyal guard during his wheat period. Now Mienjin has regarded him as the new boss. Van der Daken, that mean fellow, where is the new boss generous? Moreover, the new boss is not only generous, he gives him Bailey, speaks nicely, and tells him stories, which he likes very much. What about Van der Daken? Calling him an idiot every day, deducting wages, dying of necrosis. Crash. Suddenly, the sea broke open, and someone spotted Mienjin and blocked him. The bald sea monster? It was a group of Murloc guards. With weapons on their bodies, they can move freely in the seawater. Headed by a great white shark. He has curly black hair, a flat hat with a trident pattern on his head, and a wolf fur scarf around his neck. Tall body, quite oppressive. On his left arm, he has a wide range of tattoos, including the tattoo of Dragon Gang. Mienjin looked at them and said dissatisfiedly, Hody Jones, what are you doing? Hody Jones folded his arms and said coldly, where is that guy Van der Daken? I want to see him. Mienjin said, he is a bad Murloc, he was killed by the boss. Okay. Hody Jones and his teammates were stunned for a moment, and said in surprise, what did you say, Van der Daken is dead? That's right. Hody Jones frowned and said, who is your new boss? Van der Daken, you still owe me a debt? If you want to collect debts, you can only go to Sea God yourself and collect debts from him. A flat and lazy voice sounded. Hody Jones looked for his reputation, and there was a figure standing on the rear bow of the ship, which made his pupils shrink. Humanity? Hearing his exclamation, his companions gathered around him. Hammerhead Das. Whisker Sharkman Jo. Cigar Daruma Sharkman Daruma. King Squid Mermaid Carlos Musi, Moray Man Hammond. They come from the chaotic Murloc Street. He hated humans because he witnessed the arbitrary torture and abuse of his own kind by humans since he was a child, as well as the death of Fisher Tiger. Evil Dragon. After leaving the Sun Pirates, he went back to Murloc Street to recruit helpers. They applied for the job, but were rejected on the grounds of low strength. Hody Jones longed to become the right-hand man of Open Black Lens Bracket Dragon Close Black Lens Bracket, so he entered the Dragon Palace and served as a guard to improve his strength. But Hody Jones was restless. Because Princess Odahime's remarks contradicted him, he wanted to kill her and secretly contacted Van der Daken. It is hoped that through him, some human slaves and weapons can be obtained, so that the crime of assassination can be blamed on human beings. Van der Daken received the money, but failed to deliver the goods on time, which made Hody Jones and his gang angry, and this road blockage occurred. Who knows, but heard the news of Van der Daken's death. And the one who killed him was actually a human? Hody Jones's calm eyes were suddenly filled with hatred, and he said in a cold tone, "It was you who killed Van der Daken." Ferocious eyes, scrutinized. He wanted to take me as a slave, so I cut him off. Leno's tone was casual, and he didn't take Van der Daken seriously. When he fell into the deep sea, he happened to be at the limit of full moon Demon King form, and bumped into Van der Daken. The opponent attacked first. In order to avoid accidents after coma, Leno naturally did not keep alive. Because it was a one-knife second, he didn't even see what the other party's talent was. Although the news of Kaido's defeat caused a big storm in New World. In the Paradise, those pirate groups who wanted to go to the New World and challenge the position of 4 emperors flooded in like opportunities. Various news spread to the Fishmen Island. Even, Hody Jones saw, the Lord of the Dragon Palace seemed to be hosting a group of white-robed men from Marijoy. For this reason, Dragon Palace sent a group of people who seemed to be searching for something. Hody Jones also read the news, however, he did not recognize Leno. Because the photo in the newspaper is Leno's Open Black Lens Bracket Full Moon Demon King form Close Black Lens Bracket. There is a big difference between then and now. Leno was not in uniform again. Therefore, Leno's understated tone immediately made him grit his teeth, and said, "You killed him because you were captured as a slave? Despicable human beings, you actually killed a noble Murloc, damn it." With blue veins on his forehead, Hody Jones said with hatred, "Kill this monster and human beings." Following his voice, the companions around him swam together and rushed towards Mitsu Mi and Leno at a very fast speed. Million Dharma Trap. Mew Hey Hey. Spear of Sis Soft Fish. Harmon. Phantom Carpet. Because of Mianjin Jian's huge size, he was blocked in front of the ship, so he was attacked by the first wave. Bang bang bang. Ah, hello. Why are you attacking me? Seeing the attack on his body, Mianjin was still dazed, a little sad, wronged, and even wanted to cry. Of course he wasn't in pain, but was attacked by these Murlocs, which made him incomprehensible. Huge size brings great strength. Mianjin sees rough skin and thick flesh. None of these attacks broke the defense. Suddenly, Hody Jones flanked his shield-like body as his buddies attacked Watatsumi. He appeared outside the ship, looking at Leno through the film. Ha 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 ha. Human beings who break this coating and lose their protection are like lambs waiting to be slaughtered. Big Brother Evil Dragon is right. Murals are the noblest race in the sea, and humans are the lowest race. As he spoke, his hands stretched out and caught the water. Click. The dense seawater was actually caught by him. Murloc Jiu-Jitsu. Shui Shin Group Shark. Boom boom boom. The water he threw turned into groups of sharks and rushed towards the coating. Leno smiled and watched without stopping. I was silent for tens of seconds. No matter how small a mosquito is, it is still meat. The attack that the coating can withstand is stronger than imagined. With Hody Jones' current strength, can't he be defeated with one move? Leno simply came outside. The squeeze of seawater is everywhere. Open Black Lens Bracket Underwater Breathing Close Black Lens Bracket gives Leno the ability to move in water, but to resist pressure, he has to rely on his own physical fitness. Moreover, the resistance in water is much greater than that on land, so punching, swinging a knife, etc. will be weakened. Yabu Shark. Hody Jones kept attacking. In the water, Murlocs have 10 times the strength and speed of humans. It can be said, they are natural sailors, pity. It is still human beings who rule the world. Leno also often goes to the bottom of the sea to exercise, similar to a kind of weight training, and the water will not hinder him. Hody Jones' attack couldn't hit at all, which made him stunned. Why, aren't you human? Hody Jones didn't understand. Wouldn't humans be drowned and weakened when they entered the deep sea? Noble Murlocs, the group should rule the world. His rage surged and he attacked even faster. The noble Murloc. The dragon said so, but he's dead. Also, I'm waiting for 10 seconds, what are you waiting for? Hody Jones suddenly felt that the crisis was approaching. The current was surging. He vaguely saw a vague figure approaching. He instinctively made a defensive posture, but in the next instant, a ferocious and berserk force, like the raging waves of the sea, exploded in his body. Boom. Hody Jones exploded and got punched by Leno. He didn't even have the right to let Leno take the knife. What? Brother Hody. The other Murlocs were stunned. Danger looms. Eee. Leno broke through the water forcefully. One punch at a time. Like a hurricane, it was submerged in an instant, destroying D and his gang. Ding. You beat your opponent, and you scanned for talents. Gray White Shark Bloodline. A. Samahata. B grade. Murloc Karate. B grade. Murloc Jujitsu. B. Strange Power. C grade. Ding. You beat your opponent, and you scanned for talents. Hammerhead Shark Bloodline. B. Murloc Karate. B level. Samahata. C level. Open Black Lens Bracket. Ding. You beat your opponent. Scan to Unendowed. Bearded Shark Bloodline. B. Mimicry. B level. Samahata. C level. After solving the battle, Leno glanced at the system prompt and chose the talent of Shark Muscle and Mimicry. Ask for flowers. Shark Muscle. This talent is possessed by all Murlocs, and it seems to be a characteristic of this race. It can give muscles, stronger explosive power. Mimicry, which can make people in the environment merge into one, to achieve the effect of invisibility. Although this is of little significance to the strong Haki, the invisibility ability is what Sanji dreams of. Do not, it's every man's dream. Seeing Leno easily kill Hody and his gang, Mitsumi cried out in fear, which gave Leno a headache. Moreover, the movement here also attracted the guys wandering around the Fishmen Island. A big ship sailed out of the darkness. What happened? I smell the blood of my countrymen. Is it a slave ship? On the big ship, a red sun flag was printed and dyed, and on it was a group of Murloc pirates with swords and guns. Leno looked over and squinted his eyes. Sun pirates? On that boat, at the front, is a whale sharkman. The second captain of the Sun Pirates, one of the 7 warlords of the sea. Bounty. 438 million Baileys. Haishu Jinbe. This guy, whom Leno still respects, is one of the few Murlocs who stick to their beliefs and ideals. Jinbe inherited Faye's shared tiger's legacy, but did not go to extremes like a dragon. His philosophy, influenced by Princess Odahime, tries to reconcile with humans, accepting Shichibukai's invitation. Because it is a pirate, it is forbidden to enter the country by the Dragon Palace, so it can only wander around and protect the Fishmen Island. In their hands, they have rescued many Murlocs and mermaids captured by humans, and are respected by the Fishmen Island. The bald sea monster? It's human. The Murloc found Leno and showed an angry expression. Jinbe saw the weeping Myenjinjin, the blood in the sea, and the corpse of the Murloc, and his complexion suddenly became gloomy. His sharp eyes fell on Leno. Boom! He leapt out into the water and confronted Leno. Jinbe suppressed his anger and asked, "Humans, why do you kill them repeatedly?" He has stormy eyebrows and folded horns, a dingbat hairstyle, and a short thick black beard on his chin. The corner of the left eye is a lightning-like scar, and the body is fat, but it is actually full of muscles, not fat. There are 2 large teeth on the lower jaw at the corner of the mouth, and the sun symbol representing Sun Pirates is located on the chest. He was wearing a yukata embroidered with patterns and a pair of clogs. Jinbe, you guys came just in time. I just recovered, and I still need to adjust my status. Let's fight. Leno moved his muscles and bones. His body was full of fighting spirit, and there was still a tyrannical desire to fight in his body. He has just been promoted to the admiral level, so of course he needs to vent his anger. With Hody, not even a warm-up. Jinbe in the sea is qualified enough. Okay? Jinbe was surprised and said, "You know me?" He looked Leno up and down, feeling vaguely familiar, seeing him somewhere. Suddenly, an exclamation came from behind. "Ah, Boss Jinbe, that guy, is Leno, the hunter leader who defeated Kaido." "It's him? The strongest hunter in the world. Why, he's here." "Damn, that's the guy who defeated Kaido. It's not good. Is he going to destroy the Fishmen Island? Big crisis?" The Sun Pirates were shocked. One by one, the expression packs were frightened, and the voices were deafening. Hunter leader Leno. Jinbe's pupils shrank, and he matched the figure in front of him with the photo released by the world government. Not long ago, the world government asked him to help find Leno, as if they had something to discuss with him. He heard that the 5 elders wanted the Hunter Guild to join the world government in the name of a member country. Even Dragon Palace Kingdom received a similar request to find Leno. Did not expect. There is no place to find after breaking through the iron shoes, wrap him around. Moreover, he also killed his own compatriots. Leno saw Jinbe's anger. They seem to hate humans and want to kill me. Do you want revenge? Come and defeat me? Leno rushed to Jinbe and hooked his hands. Hate humans? Indeed, among the Murlocs, there are a group of extremists, like the evil dragon. Jinbe roughly understood what was going on, but to understand is to understand. He still couldn't just sit back and watch. His legs were separated, his right palm was forward, and his left fist was closed at his waist. Standard, Murloc karate posture. Defeated Kaido. You are very strong, but this is the deep sea, and humans have no advantage here. Yes. Leno destroyed the coating on his body, and said, "Some people say that you are at the 4 Emperors level in the deep sea?" I want to try. Suddenly, the two figures simultaneously tore apart the ocean current. Murloc Karate Abstruse Giwajung Fist. Facing the man who defeated Kaido, one of the four emperors, Jinbe didn't dare to push himself too hard, and used the profound technique. Leno didn't draw his sword, and punched Jinbe directly in front of him. Boom! Between the two, the turbulent force exploded, and the seawater surged backwards. Block. That human actually blocked Boss Jinbe with his body in the sea? The Murloc pirate was shocked, his eyes widened and his tongue stuck out. Chapter 100 World's #1 Observation Haki, shocked the Battle of the Fishmen Island. Boom! The Fishmen Island outside, the depths of the sea. Suddenly, there was a thunder-like sound that spread. Because it is oppressed by the seawater, it looks dull, but it makes the whole huge the Fishmen Island tremble slightly. The Dragon Palace rules the Fishmen Island, at this time. King Neptune is discussing with Princess Odahime and the ministers on how to complete the world government proposal. While speaking, the Dragon Palace building suddenly trembled, and the ripples on the wine liquid spread out circle by circle. Neptune and everyone were stunned by the shock. What's wrong? An earthquake? Or a volcanic eruption? What happened? The shock continues. The young Shirahoshi was so frightened that he burst into tears. Princess Odahime hurriedly stepped forward to appease. Boom! The sound of beating drums was intermittent. It seems that some monster is stirring the sea, making the sea violent, and even the Fishmen Island has been affected. Not only the Dragon Palace, but the whole Fishmen Island was shaking, and the Murlocs and mermaids on the island rushed to the street. What happened? It seems that it was an earthquake, a volcanic eruption, caused a seaquake. Just when the Murlocs were in a daze. No, it's not good. The outer guards of the Fishmen Island, the messengers rode seahorses, hurried into the island and broke into the Dragon Palace. King, Empress Odahime, it's hard to remember. The orderly was out of breath. Minister Zuo supported him and said, not good, what's going on outside? The orderly took a breath and said, Jinbe of the Sun Pirates fought with someone. Okay. The big Prince Shark stepped forward and said in surprise. What, you said, Jinbe, are you fighting with humans? Ah, yes, son, huh? No, can't you? Princess Odahime blinked in disbelief, and said, you mean, someone fought with Jinbe at the bottom of the sea? Really? Shirahoshi wiped his tears, and also blinked, 297, full of curiosity. Impossible. Neptune doubted. Boom. As soon as he finished speaking, a bigger shock wave swept towards the Fishmen Island, hitting the outer coating. This time the shaking was more violent than before. Father, I'll go and have a look, the great prince, Sharkstar, begged for his orders. With Neptune's permission, Shark quickly led the guards and rushed out of the Dragon Palace. Neptune, right now, the people are very nervous and need your comfort. Princess Odahime closed her eyes slightly and listened. Countless nervous and frightened voices echoed in her mind, making her cry with empathy. Princess Odahime is the goldfish mermaid of the Mermaid Clan and the wife of King Neptune. She was born with observation Haki, and in the current timeline, she is definitely the world's #1 observation color. Princess Odahime can feel the other party's thoughts and emotions, and convey the user's own consciousness to others, thereby affecting the minds and thoughts of others and generating strong resonance. It can even change the other party's values and ideology. This kind of observation Haki, which can be called the highest level, cannot be obtained through cultivation. Rather, it's as innate as Conquerors, and it is even rarer than Conquerors, it's just that her health is not good. Just hitting someone with a slap can cause open fractures, and it is easy to cry because of hitting someone yourself. If not, she just needs to be healthy. Just relying on her own knowledge and color that can change other people's minds is enough to make the world government fearful. King Neptune knew what his wife was capable of, so without hesitation, he brought his personal guards to the square to appease the people. The great Prince Sharkstar and the guards quickly walked through, WATERR, and came to the outside of the Fishmen Island. Water was specially created by the bubble artisans on the Fishmen Island. An extra-large transparent tube filled with seawater inside. Murlocs, mermaids, and sea creatures can use this channel to travel between different regions. The great Prince Shark has just stepped out of the coating area of the Fishmen Island. The power transmitted from the seawater shocked him and the guards to hit the coating. What? Sharkstar was shocked. What kind of powerful power emperor? The seawater was already cloudy, immediately afterwards. A kind of force propagated in the seawater, forming shocking waves visible to the naked eye, radiating the entire sky and sea. This moment, a shocking pressure fell heavily on everyone. Boom! Almost instantly, the bottom of the sea trembled. Countless waves crashed, then it continued to rise, forming a circle of huge bubbles. Gudong. In the turbid seabed, the two figures collided together and a terrifying fluctuation erupted, making the Sun Pirates unable to restrain themselves and tense up. That human? What kind of monster? He actually competed against Big Brother Jinbe in the deep sea? No, it was suppression, he completely suppressed Big Brother Jinbe. Damn it, Is this the existence that defeated Kaido of the beasts? It really is so strong that it makes one's scalp tingle. With this ferocious momentum, he seems to be getting stronger as he fights. In the beginning, brother Jinbe was able to fight against him, but now, he can only be suppressed and beaten? No, I heard that Leno is a great swordsman. He hasn't used his sword yet, relying on his physique alone. The crew members of the Sun Pirate swallowed, trembling all over, in awe of power. In his eyes, he was full of longing and enthusiasm for the fierce battle in front of him. One Piece world, no matter what your position is. Whether you are a pirate, marine, world government, or 4 emperors, Shichibukai, etc., you have different identities. Here, from beginning to end, it has been a world where the weak prey on the strong and the strong are respected. It has never changed and cannot be changed. Justice, freedom, dreams, goals, etc., these things can only be discussed with strength. Even if Leno had killed Hody and his gang not long ago, his strength at this time has been respected. For example, Big Mom, after Whitebeard's death, occupied the Fishmen Island and criticized the Murlocs in various ways. Does anyone resist? No. It was Luffy who made a big fuss and provoked Big Mom, which made the Fishmen Island put their hopes on Luffy. Of course, this is not to deny the weak. The weak also have their own way of survival. At the same time, it is also the existence of the weak that can set off the strength of the strong and constitute the world's class. Jinbe, you are very good. The sea burst. Fluctuating like thunder, it struck the earth and shook it far away. A submarine volcano erupted, gushing out hot magma. Leno looked at Haishu Jinbe opposite him, grinned, and said, "Are you interested in joining us?" The corner of Jinbe's mouth was bleeding. Leno's strength made him hard to resist, especially Leno's armament Haki. Every blow of Leno, full of explosive impact, sharp Haki, pierced his defense layer. This reminds Jinbe of Wanakuna's emission, but Leno's armed color seems sharper. Jinbe looked serious, because until now, Leno had only used one power, armament Haki. The form that defeats Kaido has yet to appear, do not. He hasn't even used the Conqueror's Haki yet. Jinbe thought about what Leno said before the fight started, using him to adjust his state, that is to say, Leno wasn't serious yet. Their surroundings are already one piece. Countless cracks and seamounts collapsed one after another. Jinbe exhaled slowly, gathered his strength, and said, "Join you? Hunter Guild?" "How?" Leno asked. "What will happen if you don't agree?" Jinbe asked. "Okay." Leno thought for a while and smiled. "Of course, it's okay. I'm already 7 warlords of the sea, it would be inappropriate to join Hunter Guild. Again, sorry." Jinbe declined. "That's it, what a pity." Leno shrugged, glanced out of the corner of his eye, saw the world government ship, and said, "Then, it's time to end." "Okay." When Jinbe was puzzled. In Leno's eyes, 2 dots of golden light shone, and wisps of lightning escaped, shining in the deep sea. A golden aura was released, making one's scalp tingle, and it spread continuously from Leno's body. Buzz buzz. This feeling of oppression. Jinbe stepped on and resisted with both feet, with an ugly look on his face. He gritted his teeth tightly, only feeling that his body seemed to be carrying a huge mountain on his back, which was extremely heavy. His spirit and will were severely suppressed, which made it very difficult for him to breathe. Far away. Murlocs such as Minjimi, Sun Pirates, and Sharkstar seemed to have been hit hard with a sap on the back of the head. Their eyes turned white, and they fell down one by one, including the personnel on the world government ship. Leno's arm is entwined with armed color and Conqueror's entwined, and the 2 kinds of power blend together into a purple-gold arrogance. Even in this deep sea, it is just as bright, danger. Such warnings kept ringing in Jinbe's heart, can't passively defend. Jinbe squinted, and a water polo began to gather in his palm. Murloc Karate, Mystery, Wu Leiguan, Murloc Karate and Murloc Jiu-Jitsu are the 2-day practice system of the Murlocs. In the deep sea, the power doubles. Coming, Jinbe's eyes caught Leno's figure. Leno was never a Murloc. He can breathe underwater, and when he can move, he still needs to bear the oppression from the seawater. Therefore, his speed was greatly restricted in this deep sea. The water polo in Jinbe's palm was hit. Boom, the water ball exploded, forming a huge water wave-piercing gun, tearing the water pressure of the deep sea, enough to penetrate the giant mountain. Spreading in circles, the power made the Fishmen Island tremble. This hits it, but, disturbed, Jinbe was still uneasy. He sensed it with the color of knowledge, armament Haki on his body formed a defense, and shot again. His palms opened, grabbing the current, as if caught in the water entity. Murloc Jiu-Jitsu Shui Shin Si flow over shoulder throw. However, a fist, wrapped around Haki, passed through the current and, with this terrifying blow, landed on his chest. Next moment, Jinbe's entwined arm-colored chest was sunken, and he couldn't stop it at all. He bowed his waist, like a prawn, flew backwards, spat out a mouthful of blood from his mouth, staining the sea red. This is just the first shock. Then, on Leno's fist, another shockwave blasted out. Boom. The seawater shattered, like condensed glass, with cracks visible to the naked eye. Wow. Jinbe's eyes turned white. the whole body, as like a cannonball, it was blasted out. In the current, he cut a waterway of hundreds of meters, smashed a seamound, and lay in the gravel. Defeated. On the ship of the world government, the CPO people were shocked. Shichibukai Jinbe was easily defeated by Leno in the deep sea, and his strength has recovered. Too strong. Those who can remain awake under the impact of Leno's conquerors are obviously not weak. But at this time, he looked at Leno, trembling and frightened, thinking of that day, the scene of Leno stabbing each other. Today in Marijoy, Leno's name is taboo, considered a disgrace by many celestial dragons. But just like Fisher Tiger, even if a large number of slaves were freed, the celestial dragons would have nothing to do with him. Leno is a more terrifying, more vicious, and more unscrupulous guy than Fisher Tiger. Even 5 elders, mentioning him, feels a headache. Suddenly, Leno defeated Jinbe, and he didn't stop, he moved quickly, and in the current, he used the 6th style, shaving. Boom. A counter impact exploded under his feet. 6th style, shaving, within an instant, 0.36 seconds. Continuous high-speed, step on the ground dozens of times, produce explosive reaction force, to do high-speed movement. From the eyes of the enemy, it seems to disappear. This technique, moving in the deep sea, is actually very effective, much faster than swimming. It can be seen from this, there are no useless talents. As long as the occasion and environment are appropriate, even an E-level talent will have miraculous effects. Reference. Usopp of Extremis. Run away. Seeing Leno coming towards him, the CPO was frightened to death, took the helm himself, and wanted to leave this sea area. Finger pistol extremely cold ice stream, frozen, talon shines, as Leno moves towards the boat, he plays finger pistol, breaking through the seawater. Boo! From his fingertips, a cold current surged out at an extreme speed, and the seawater along the way was all frozen, forming a deep sea layer. The fleeing ship stopped suddenly. Caw. The CPO looked up and saw that the entire ship was wrapped in a huge ice layer, and Jien intended to slowly seep into it. What? His tongue stuck out and his eyes bulged in fright. Suddenly, boom! Cracks quickly appeared in the ice layer and cracked open. Moreover, the coating of the ship was also cracked, and the seawater poured in through the broken hole. What frightened the CPO even more was that the seawater poured in was freezing rapidly, that is to say, he would be frozen. No, the whole ship is frozen. He wanted to escape, but there was no way to go. In this deep sea, human beings are too fragile, even, he is not bad. He couldn't resist the surging seawater and the rapidly spreading freezing cold. In the distance, the Murlocs, holding their breath, all looked at Leno like they were looking at a madman. What is he doing? Attack world government ships. This man is crazy. Horrible. World government ships will appear in the deep sea, what is the purpose? Leno guessed everything without using his brain. The other party is looking for 4.01 self. If so, why show mercy? The CPO guy, the lackey of the celestial dragons, has nothing to communicate with. The main reason is that it is inconvenient to expose the power of Muramasa, with Murlocs watching from afar. Moreover, he happened to use this matter to give the 5 elders and celestial dragons a warning and let them be quiet. Leno raised his hand and punched it down. The huge ship iceball, together with the people inside, shattered together and sank into the deep sea trench. Ong. Those Murlocs and pirates who saw this scene were all shocked. Mouth opened wide, making meaningless noises. Crazy, because of love. He actually killed people from the world government? Huh? Wait, what is he writing? The eyes of the Murlocs were all staring. I saw Leno writing a series of words with the blue ice stream. Pirate, how dare you pretend to be a member of the world government? Countless Murlocs and pirates had a series of question marks on their foreheads. Really? And this kind of operation? Since it's a pirate pretending to be a member of the world government, it's no problem for Leno to kill him, right? Not only will 5 elders not be angry, but they also have to smile and thank Leno for contributing to maintaining the reputation of the world government. Of course, Leno was able to do this because of his own strength, which made the 5 elders afraid. For someone else, who would dare to play like this? Sounds outrageous. But Leno remembered that the operations of those big countries in the previous life were even more outrageous. Neptune, king of the Fishmen Island, arrived with his chariot. President Hunter, Lord Leno, I am King Neptune of the Dragon Palace Kingdom, and I would like to invite you to the palace as a guest. It was Princess Odahime's idea that Neptune invited Leno. She was one of those who heard Kuzan's presentation. Shocked by a promising marine vice-admiral, she resolutely switched to the portal, and she was quite curious about Leno. Chapter 101 Mouth Kill Odahime, copy the world's strongest knowledgeable color, listen to everything. The Fishmen Island, known as Underwater Paradise, it is a dreamlike paradise. At the invitation of Neptune, Leno boarded his car, and together with him, went to the Fishmen Island. He checks the system record for defeating Jinbe. Ding! You defeated your opponent, and you scanned for talents. Whale Sharkman, SS level. Samahata, S level. Armament Haki, S level. Observation Haki, S level. Murloc Karate, S level. Murloc Rouge Skills, S level. Helmsman, A level. Resourcefulness, A level. Open black lens bracket. Please host choose a talent as soon as possible. Close black lens bracket. Leno glanced over. Choose, Samahata, shark muscle, is related to the body, and it is undoubtedly an approximate talent of Gluttony Demon King. Ding. Successfully copied talent. Shark muscle, talent introduction. Shark muscles contain powerful strength, can tear rocks, and have perfect lines. Open black lens bracket strength. S grade close black lens bracket, can it be integrated and improved? Leno was curious. Ding. It is detected that the host has similar talents, Gluttonous Demon King, Overlord Body, Samahata, please find more similar talents, and integrate and improve. Close black lens bracket. Still unable to improve. Strangeness, Leno doesn't understand, what's wrong? Neptune was tall and stronger than ordinary murlocs, but at this moment, facing Leno, he was very nervous. He personally welcomed Leno into the city, but was opposed by the left and right ministers, and Neptune himself was not very willing. It was Princess Odahime, and with just 3 sentences, she was able to overcome all opinions. The one outside the Fishmen Island defeated one of the New World 4 emperors, the uncrowned emperor. You want to keep him out? You guys, can you stop him? If, without enough respect, when he gets angry, who can stop him? 3 sentences, every sentence punishes the heart. I poured a basin of ice water on Neptune and the ministers. Jinbe is defeated. The ships of the world government were killed by him. This kind of person, the Fishmen Island dare to offend? If you dare, the Fishmen Island will not bow to Big Mom. Neptune is the king who ruled over 5 million ethnic groups, but now he has to carefully watch his words and actions. He was surprised that Leno could breathe normally in the water, and even wondered if he was a hybrid of murlocs and humans. He considered his words carefully, and said, Dear Lord Leno, people from the world government have really been to the Fishmen Island. Oh, really? Pirates are so cunning, Leno said seriously. Neptune. Forget it, this kind of thing. Pirates, be pirates. Well, what's the matter with you coming to the Fishmen Island? Neptune asked cautiously. Leno smiled slightly and said, Cooperation, cooperate? Neptune was puzzled. Leno looked up and looked at the Fishmen Island, which was getting closer. A huge, double-layer semicircular bubble film shield surrounds the entire island, and there is an air layer between the 2 layers of shields. Outsiders usually have to go through immigration inspection, otherwise they will be arrested by the Poseidon Army of the Dragon Palace Kingdom. If the ships that were plated on the Saboti archipelago follow the wrong path to break into the Fishmen Island, the coating will automatically peel off and merge with the shield on the island, and some ships will fall to the ground in the air layer in the middle. Even if they successfully broke through the shield, the intruders and ships would still be washed away by the seawater in the shield. The location of the Fishmen Island is quite dangerous for pirates. Leno squinted. Not only for pirates. For the whole world, the location of the Fishmen Island is very dangerous. It is like a pickle, stuck in the throat. It is the only way to smuggle across the world that is not controlled by the world government. It's also because of the pirates that brought disaster to the Fishmen Island. Neptune couldn't help complaining. Leno glanced at him. Neptune has lush, shaggy orange-red hair and beard, and flame-like tattoos on his arms. There is thick body hair on his body, and the weapon he holds is a finely carved trident. To be frank, he is not such a wise king. It can't solve the many contradictions in the Fishmen Island, and it can't do diplomacy well. Soon, they entered the Fishmen Island. Although the Fishmen Island is located under the deep sea, it also has sky and clouds. Yangshu Eve brought a gift, in order not to irritate the nationals, or have extreme murlocs, bumped Leno. Neptune came directly to Dragon Palace City without too much delay. It is located on the top floor of the Fishmen Island where the sun can be seen. It is made of large coral reefs, shells, and other building materials. There is also a giant dragon entrenched on the castle. Luxurious banquet hall. There is a shell-shaped stage in the center, which is spacious and tall. Neptune hosts a banquet for Leno. Holding a banquet in this banquet hall is equivalent to the state banquet of the Fishmen Island. The specifications are tall. Responsible for stage singing is the pride of the Fishmen Island, the leading female singer under the sea, Mary Napoleon. She is one of Uda's favorite singers. The accompaniment is a swing jazz orchestra, and the accompaniment is a dancer from the Mermaid Cafe. Dancing of breams. Dot and places, beautiful singing, clear and loud. The beautiful music is intoxicating. Especially the swaying dancing posture of the mermaid, graceful and graceful. Their beauty makes people forget to breathe. During the feasting, all kinds of food and wine unique to the Fishmen Island were served on the table. Not many people attended the banquet. The Fishmen Island is the host, except for King Neptune, Princess Odahime, the left and right ministers, and the 3 princes. In a few months, Princess Shirahoshi, who is only 6 years old, is nearly 7 meters tall. Huge body, but timid personality, sitting next to Princess Odahime, with a shy and timid look on her face. Her beauty has overwhelmed the mermaid dancers present and has become the focus of many eyes. Except them. The bandaged Jinbe and Aladdin, the ship's doctor, were invited by Princess Odahime to attend the banquet together. See you in Mianzu. He is too big, so he can only play with the Sun Pirates outside the Fishmen Island. Hey, Jinbe, you Sun Pirates, there was a Murloc before, called Open Black Lens Bracket Evil Dragon? Leno tasted the delicious food and chatted with Jinbe. Jinbe drank the wine, nodded and said, well, he and I disagree, so he left us. That's it, Leno smiled and said, they went to East Blue, did a lot of bad things, killed a lot of humans, so. Aladdin frowned. Jinbe was silent by default. From Leno's cruelty to OD and his group, it can be seen that the evil dragon and the others are more than good. But, what can he do? No way, can't beat it, did you kill them? Leno looked over, and it was Princess Odahime who spoke. She leaned her shoulders. Her upper body is human-like, and her lower body is the tail of a goldfish. She has long, wavy golden hair, blue eyes, and big eyes. She wears an orange crown-shaped beret on her head to tie her long hair behind her head. Wearing a long robe with an orange fish scale pattern. The cuffs and mermaid are more densely patterned. There is a waistband with red background and white border around the waist, and the outside is tied with a white ribbon. Facing her slightly reproachful eyes, Leno couldn't help feeling ashamed, as if he had done something wrong. This woman. Leno immediately looked away, and at the same time activated Fearless Heart, to dispel the guilt in his heart. No wonder she can impress the stubborn celestial dragons. And many years later, Donkeyode Muscarad-san also reinvented himself and helped Shirahoshi go all the way during the World Summit. Wait, why the Donkeyode family again? This family is rebellious. I have to say that Princess Odahime's knowledgeable look is a bit scary. She almost unconsciously affected his mind and thoughts, stronger than his infection. If she is conscious, because of the use, Leno narrowed his eyes slightly, and said to Princess Odahime. Yes, I killed them, because they are killing people. Princess Odahime said, but you can obviously stop them. Why? Do you want to expand the hatred? She doesn't understand. Leno put down his glass and said, then, do you think they are right to kill humans, and what I did was wrong? The atmosphere of the banquet, suddenly quiet. Jinbe, Aladdin, Sharkstar, everyone was nervous. Fortunately, because Shirahoshi was young, he was taken back to the palace by his other two brothers to rest, otherwise he would have to cry a lot. Odahime. Neptune gently reminded, don't offend the other party. Princess Odahime bit her lip and said, I just think that killing is wrong. Regardless of humans, Murlocs, or other races, wouldn't it be better for everyone to coexist peacefully? Leno chuckled and said, the disputes in the world will never stop. As long as you, me, people here, and people in the world live, hatred, exploitation, oppression will exist. And where there is oppression, there must be resistance. He pointed to the food, the luxurious buildings, the left and right ministers, Neptune, and finally Princess Odahime. Isn't the existence of the Dragon Palace just the way Wong Quan ruled, indirectly killing the low-level Murlocs and getting glory and wealth? You haven't seen the bottom, the darkest place, so don't stand on the moral high ground and accuse anyone. Silence. Neptune, Princess Odahime, Sha Xing, and the ministers were all shocked. Jinbe and Aladdin stared wide-eyed. How could he say such deviant words? To actually reprimand the king, queen, and ministers of the Fishmen Island in front of everyone? That's why I hope that the fish race and the fish race can live on the ground and coexist peacefully with humans. Princess Odahime shouted angrily. Leno said lightly, so, you don't understand human beings at all. I've heard about your deeds. Do you think that a few signatures can change the minds of the world government and 5 elders? How naive. Don't understand humans? Naive? Princess Odahime covered her mouth. Leno picked up the wineglass, took a sip, and said, is it really so beautiful on the ground, Jinbe? Jinbe was silent. The heavenly gold of the celestial dragons, the tyrant of the nation, the raging pirates. Leno looked at these Murlocs, feeling ridiculous. Perhaps, the Fishmen Island you hate is the paradise that has protected you for thousands of years. Do you think that the captured Murlocs and mermaids are the pirates' favorites? No, it's celestial dragons, nobles from all over the world, wealthy merchants, and powerful people. Without the natural danger of the Fishmen Island, what do you use to resist? Who can you find to protect you? If it weren't for the Fishmen Island, you wouldn't be here talking to me, but kneeling before the celestial dragons. No King Puton, Princess Odahime, there will only be slave Neptune, there will only be slave Odahime. Moving away from the Fishmen Island, each of you is just a walking Bailey, leaving the sea, your advantages are gone, like a fish out of water, it is meat on a human chopping board, any. Human slaughter, in another 800 years, the Murlocs will become legends and only exist in history. Because at that time, you have already been wiped out. Genocide. Leno's words, like thunder, shocked everyone and were at a loss. Princess Yiji's complexion was pale, she took 2 steps back and covered her chest. Her mind was in turmoil. Leno's assumptions, no one had ever told her. Leaving the Fishmen Island and going to land is the dream of Murlocs for generations. Now, Leno said, the Fishmen Island is the Murlocs' paradise, and the land will be the Murlocs' nightmare? Not only her, Neptune, Jinbe and the others were all lost in thought. Ha ha, Leno laughed suddenly, broke the silence, and said, Are you scared? I'm talking nonsense, lying to you, just kidding. A piece of murlocs all fell down and fell to the ground. This joke is too frightening for the fish. Leno said with a smile. Actually, human beings are not that scary. There are good and bad among you murlocs. Why? Yes. Neptune can't laugh or cry, Leno's turning point. He won't be able to deal with it, anyway, whatever you say, just say it. Leno, another twist. But, murlocs, are you really ready to deal with that kind of shock and face countless humans? Also, how many people in the human kingdom support you? How do you survive on land? Princess Odahime, have you considered it? Do you have a plan? Do you have actual inspections and field investigations? Princess Odahime was stunned. She just thought about going to land. How could she think about these things? So, do you really understand the needs of your own people? Or, you are just moved by your own ideals and think you are great? That is even greater selfishness. Leno's infection, talent, shimmering slightly, makes people around him start to follow Leno's thinking. Look, you haven't lived on land yourself, so how do you house 5 million ethnic groups? Your dream has always been just a slogan, empty words. How do you convince your people? Princess Odahime fell into deep thought. Indeed, she had never thought about anything. What this human being said was the truth. In her mind, the slogan of Hunter's Guild flashed. She deserves to be a person who hunts dreams. He knows a lot. Princess Odahime looked at Leno. Her eyes glowed. She bowed and said, Mr. Leno, please teach me how to do it. Wangs. Huh. Neptune, Jinbe and the surrounding murlocs looked at Princess Odahime in astonishment. Teacher? Leno choked and coughed lightly. He said so much because he disliked Odahime's idiot behavior. At the same time, to pave the way for the next cooperation, unexpectedly, not only was she not hit, but she also had motivation. Open black lens bracket ding. You defeated your opponent, and you scanned for talents. Observation Haki, SSS level. Goldfish Mermaid, E level, close black lens bracket. Okay. That's okay too. What is he? With a slap in the face, he subdued Princess Odahime. Open black lens bracket please host choose a talent as soon as possible. Close black lens bracket. Is this still an option? Princess Odahime doesn't even have the shark muscle talent that murlocs and mermaids must have. Shark star. I finally understand why everyone doesn't support the Queen Mother, they only dream and don't have a plan. Princess Odahime. Hearing what he said, I'm really ashamed. What was I doing before? He is too wise, a human sage. I must seriously ask him for advice. Ding. Your observation Haki has completed the advanced fusion, strength, SSS level. Without hesitation, Leno chose fusion. She is useless except for her knowledge. About 5 seconds. Jinbe. Leno, you are right, the Fishmen Island is the Murloc paradise. Listen to your heart. Open black lens bracket strength. SSS level, close black lens bracket the light of the system flashed by. Open black lens bracket ding. Successfully copied talent. Observation Haki close black lens bracket. Observation Haki close black lens bracket talent, together. A special force merged into Leno's mind, allowing him to hear more voices all of a sudden. Open black lens bracket ding. It is detected that the host has the same talent observation Haki. Is it fused? Close black lens bracket. Huh? My experience is SS rank. Now that I have obtained SSS rank, can it be integrated? The talent of the gluttonous Demon King is strange. Leno didn't move his face. His heart was full of joy, and he made a lot of money. Talent introduction. The potential of the heart can sharpen one's 5 senses, and can detect the breath and emotional changes of surrounding creatures, which can be used to predict and avoid danger. Close black lens bracket. Neptune. Teacher? Odahime, you call me a human teacher? Chapter 102 Kaido returns. Still 4 emperors. 5 elders aim at open black lens bracket Pluton close black lens bracket. New world. On a certain island, the villagers watched in awe as the ship flying the pirate flag slowly approached the coast. Above the banner, its crossed skull sticks, protruding horns, and an impatient skull. Beasts pirates. Recognized by the world government, one of the New World 4 emperors. On the bow, there are 2 tall figures standing, namely open black lens bracket Jin close black lens bracket and open black lens bracket Jack close black lens bracket. What they see. On the beach, the burly Kaido, sitting there, holding a wooden barrel as a wine glass, is drinking wine. Not long ago, Kaido wakes up from a coma. He rushed to the island with the current. Then I contacted Jin through the phone bug. As soon as the boat docked, Jack burst into tears and cried out, "Governor, wow, you are really still alive." While crying, Jack jumped up and landed in front of Kaido. Kaido glanced at him. "Why are you crying? What, is it really still alive? Could it be that you thought I was dead?" Kaido, who drank a lot, was in a bad mood. Boom. Jack, who had just landed, got a big mouth and flew far away, and the sun fell into the sand. "Jack, brother Jack!" The crew screamed. Jack pulled his head out of the sand, shook off the sand on his head, scratched his head honestly, and said, "I'm fine." Kaido's strikes are still serious, and Jack's skin is rough and fleshy, so this kind of attack is harmless. Furthermore, for the thick-skinned members of Beast's Pirates, this is also a relatively different team culture. Fighting is love. Scolding is love. If Kaido hits you, it means he values you more. Jin landed on the beach, and saw Kaido's broken left leg and the scar on his chest. And the fresh tearing wound on his abdomen. This can't help but make his pupils shrink. It is hard to imagine what kind of battle the regiment left Kaido of the Beasts with such serious injuries. He didn't quite believe before that someone could beat Kaido in heads up. But now, he had to believe it. In fact, these are not all of Kaido's injuries. He also has a large scar on his back, like being plucked. Those attacks from open black lens bracket Uranus close black lens bracket. Leno used him as a shield and took the damage for almost 10 seconds. And these injuries, each one, are fatal enough. Kaido can survive. The group is shocking. Not only Jin was shocked, but even the other members of the Beast's Pirates team, Fuzifu and Sasaki, couldn't believe it. Hey, Master Kaido, have you been defeated again? A poisonous voice sounded. Ah, sister, you can't say that. Peggy Wan, who was still a young boy, was quite frightened. He wished he could cover his sister's mouth immediately, embarrassing. Even a 203 mask can't block the mouth of this swollen lady. The surrounding members of the pirate group subconsciously stayed away from their siblings. Their foreheads were covered with a series of black lines. Faced with the doubts of the poisonous tongue girl Runti, Duo didn't get angry. Run was born on the Grand Line. Her and Peggy Wan's father was a pirate in the past. After their father died, Kaido, who had some relationship with their father, took them away and hid them. Run is very smart. She stole 2 devil fruits from Kaido. Become a capable person with Peggy Wan, and survive in the Beast's Pirates, the pirate group that eats the weak and the strong. Wororo. He laughed loudly and said, "Ah, I lost again, but this world has become interesting again." For the failure, Kaido was not discouraged in the slightest. Instead, fighting spirit was ignited in his eyes, and the boredom was gone. In the past, Kaido felt that the world was boring, because there were no opponents and the heights were overwhelming. Now defeated. Rekindle the fighting spirit. Although his leg was broken, Jin felt that Kaido seemed to be stronger than before. Kaido planted the flag on the island and announced to the people on the island that this place belongs to the Beast's Pirates from now on. Then, he and the members of the Beast's Pirates who came to pick him up swaggered and appeared on the main waterway of New World. Huh? Kaido appeared. The ships encountered along the way fled watching the wind, in awe. However, there are still iron heads. Look, Kaido is injured, his legs are broken, he is no longer the king of beasts, he is just a cripple. Kill Kaido, we are the new kings of the sea, wealth are sought in insurance. Kill. Boom. Kaido took a sip of hot breath, and sprayed the opponent's ship directly. And this is just the beginning of Kaido's storm. He took the Beast's Pirates, went around revenge, hunted down those, and tried to challenge his pirate group while he was sleeping. One will succeed and 10,000 bones will die. Under the feet of every emperor in the New World, who is not stepping on thousands of losers. Might rule, often accompanied by brutal repression. Soon, Morgan's news reported on the matter. Kaido of the Beasts back out of the sea. Kaido lost to the leader of the hunter, Leno. Kaido is back, wreaking havoc on the New World. The King of Beasts is still the king of the New World. The originally chaotic and turbulent New World situation. With the appearance of Kaido, it quickly returned to normal, and the situation among the 4 emperors was still as stable as the Red King continent. In the first half of the year, the imposing red hair pirates disappeared after suffering a fiasco. Some people say that they left CJBF, New World and fled in despair. Some people say that they were defeated by Kaido just like the great pirate Gecko Moria. Some people also said that they are on an island, conducting special training, enhancing their strength, and waiting for a comeback. When they appear next time, they may shock the world. But no matter what, Red Hair Pirates, which was once reported by various newspapers, has disappeared into obscurity. Instead, it was Leno, the Hunters Guild, and they became the new protagonists in the newspaper. Follow Kaido out of the mountain. The trace of Leno has become the content of many people's conversations after dinner, curiosity and speculation. Leno beat Kaido, probably used some forbidden drug, overdrawn himself and died. 17. Leno is injured, more serious than Kaido, and is recuperating somewhere. Nonsense, I heard that Leno has returned to the Hunter Guild headquarters. All kinds of rumors are flying around. Marie Joy. 5 elders gathered. The Fishmen Island sent back the latest news. Leno appeared and defeated Jinbe, one of the 7 warlords of the sea. In addition, he also attacked a CPO ship, but he thinks those people are pirates in disguise. The Fishmen Island is on the seabed at a depth of 10,000 meters. The biological waves of the phone bug need to be transmitted through special pipelines. It's expensive. But the Dragon Palace Kingdom has always been one of the countries joining the world government. Contact for convenience. Still along the Yangshu Eve, a line was laid, connecting the 2 points of Marie Joy and naval headquarters. Before, Princess Odahime's family used this line to listen to Kuzan's live broadcast. The CPO was able to convey the message to Marijoy so quickly, using the same line. 5 elders sent more than one ship into the deep sea. That rascal. The bald 5 elders gritted his teeth. The deep sea is a place we haven't reached. It's a pity that we didn't get Pluton back then. Yes. If you get Pluton, you can directly destroy the Fishmen Island and completely plug that gap. The Poseidon of the Murloc race has always been a hidden danger, and it was that Poseidon who once opened the gap. The power of the Murlocs in the sea cannot be underestimated. We need to treat them with caution. Leno went to the Fishmen Island. What does he want to do? It can't be. What does he know? No matter what, at present, we have nothing to do with him. The 5 elders were silent. Feel aggrieved. For the first time in so many years, they were beaten and blackmailed by someone. Leno was even more hateful than that Roger. Calculating the time, the prophecy that the 3 kings will appear together is getting closer and closer. We must get the design of Pluton as soon as possible. Murloc Tom's sea train is almost ready if he doesn't hand over Pluton technology. Kill him. Pluton design drawings are the key to repairing Pluton. We can't get it, and we can't let others get it. In addition, that Poseidon, if there is no accident, should have been born. I don't know who inherited it. Master I am, you can't predict it, only Poseidon can sense it when he awakens himself. Try to win over the Murlocs, but unfortunately, the deep sea protects them, and Uranus cannot attack. 27. The era of great pirates initiated by Roger has both advantages and disadvantages. Let the pirates attack the Fishmen Island, Fisher Tiger, Princess Odahime. These 2 thoughts are tearing apart the Murlocs, which is more beneficial to us. As the Celestial Dragons, the 5 elders prioritize the interests of the Celestial Dragons. So, they even asked Jinbe to join the 7 warlords of the sea at the request of amnesty for the evil Dragon Gang and indulge the evil Dragon Gang. Then secretly instigated Marines, pirates, and muscle fishermen slaves. And these are just to intensify the conflicts among the Murlocs. Let them inside, mess themselves up. It's a very simple strategy, and it's what many big countries like to do. As long as the purpose is achieved, dead people to 5 elders are just a number after all. The Fishmen Island. Inside Dragon Palace. Concubine Othime was completely convinced by Leno's eloquent talk. She found that it was too simple for her to put things together. He thought that letting the Murlocs survive on land together would solve all the problems the Murlocs are facing now. But never thought about it. What if, instead of being resolved, it gets worse? They are protected by the deep sea, but what will happen to them if they are plagued by pirates? Don't look at the Dragon Gang. They are tyrannical in East Blue, but in the Grand Line, they can't stand against the Paradise section. When they arrived on land, the slave hunters flocked to them, and the Murlocs would only suffer more losses, and they would never lose their fortunes. Teacher Leno, what do you think we should do, after contemplating? Princess Odahime bowed to ask for advice. How? Leno shrugged slightly. I, a human being, how do I know this kind of thing? The future of the Murlocs should be decided by you, right? But, although I don't agree with your thoughts, I respect your dreams. People have goals, and the group has a history. Princess Othime was thoughtful. The surrounding Murlocs were also touched. King Neptune suddenly said, by the way, Master Leno, what did you say about cooperation? Cooperate? Princess Odahime, Jinbe, and Shashing watched him together. Leno said, 1. I hope to set up Hunter Guild, the Fishmen Island branch in the Fishmen Island. Huh? Really? Princess Odahime was happy and said, of course there is no problem with this matter. Neptune nodded and said, if we can get your protection, we will not only provide convenience for Hunter Guild, but also pay a sum of money every year. The strong offer shelter, the weak offer treasure. This is the most common and common tribute system in the pirate world. Including open black lens bracket heavenly gold closed black lens bracket by celestial dragons, isn't it the same? Leno smiled and shook his head and said, no, we, Hunters Guild, are not pirates. We don't ask for any treasures. What we get is commissions for missions and related benefits. We are a partnership, an alliance. Neptune and the ministers were surprised and said, you mean, is it free? Yeah, it's free. Even, I think the hunters of the Fishmen Island branch should be maintained by the Murlocs and mermaids of the Fishmen Island. Leno looked at Jinbe. Jinbe was taken aback. He realized that Leno had recruited himself for this matter. But, he is now 7 warlords of the sea. Jinbe thinks that he can't be the master of 2, and shakes his head slightly at Leno. Well, can you leave this matter to me? The eldest Prince Shashing, who had been silent all this time, suddenly stood up and was eager to try. If we set up a branch of the Fishmen Island, it can be approved by Lord Leno, and maybe it can help the father and mother. Shark thought to himself. He is still young, eager to be recognized, to show strength, to make a difference. Leno glanced at him, smiled and said, yes, but you need to pass the hunter test first. In addition, you have to go to East Blue for further study to learn our purpose, rules, and related conditions. We will inspect you and make sure that you are capable and competent, and then we will let you come back and take charge of it alone. Can I be alone? I do, Sharkstar couldn't wait. Ahem, we are discussing this matter. Neptune coughed lightly and said, what about the second thing? Leno said, secondly, I plan to build a hunter-themed park in East Blue by referring to the amusement park in District 33 of the Saboti archipelago. This one will involve some underwater projects. I hope to hire a group of Murloc and Mermaid employees to work in the paradise. Not just theme parks. In the last hunter assessment, some items related to the sea killed more than a dozen people. If there are Murlocs to rescue, casualties will be smaller. It is undeniable that in the sea, the Murlocs have obvious advantages. Projects related to the sea, such as shipwreck salvage, seabed investigation, etc., can progress faster if there are Murlocs. Hire Murlocs and mermaids to work. Neptune, Princess Otome, and Jinbe were shocked. Leno nodded. As a condition, I will provide Murlocs and mermaid employees with a small island where they can live freely on land. Princess Otahime was ecstatic, looked at Leno, her eyes sparkled, and said, really? What you said is true? Provide a small island to the Murlocs? Isn't this the dream she has been pursuing? Well, but it won't be too big. For now, I only need about 300 people. Moreover, it can't be those Murlocs who hold resentment and dissatisfaction with humans and are full of violent behavior. In addition, they also need to receive training and observation, and those who are unqualified will be sent back. Leno made a condition. When, of course, Princess Otahime was so happy that she was about to fly. King Neptune couldn't help saying, why do you want to help us? Not helping you, but cooperation, Leno emphasized again. I have no prejudice against Murlocs. There are indeed some scum among humans, and Murlocs are the same, times create everything. Jinbe looked at Leno with admiration in his heart. This young man really has a mind as wide as the sea, and a vision as distant and as deep as the starry sky. His courage is a born king, Jinbe said. Indeed, there are good people on land, not all humans have prejudice and discrimination against Murlocs. There was a human who was willing to give Brother Tiger a blood transfusion, but he himself refused to accept it, so he lost too much blood and died. Ah, really? Neptune was surprised. The Murlocs are saying that humans are unwilling to transfuse blood to Tiger. That is a lie deliberately spread by the evil dragon. Jinbe is ashamed to tell the truth. So that's how it is. Princess Otahime heaved a sigh of relief. Back then, Fisher Tiger's death caused her to be spurned by the Murlocs, and she was sad for a long time. King Neptune, Princess Otahime and the ministers discussed separately. Soon, a decision was finally made. King Neptune and Princess Otahime saluted respectfully. The Fishmen Island Dragon Palace Kingdom, willing to cooperate with Kai Nuo Tianren. Chapter 103 Mermaid Shirley, historical text, Joey Bowie's apology. Coral Hill, the prosperous port town of Dragon Palace Kingdom. There are bars, hotels, and specialty shopping stores everywhere. Mermaid Cafe. It's a laid-back and lazy place. The beautiful mermaid waiters come and go, giving guests an excellent visual enjoyment. Even a cup of coffee can be enjoyed in this afternoon. Shirley, the owner of the mermaid shop, has a long light blue tail, leaning comfortably on a chair, enjoying the afternoon sun. She has short black hair, cool blue eyes, pale skin, purple nails. As a Mako mermaid, her size is much larger than the average mermaid. The tail end is in the shape of a full moon. The hind anal fin is surrounded by a circle of air bubbles. Shirley is the most famous fortune teller on the Fishmen Island, bar none. When he was 4 years old, he predicted the coming of the era of great pirates. Although the exact time of the event cannot be predicted. But her divination and prediction accuracy is as high as 100%. Therefore, there are not a few guests who come to Shirley for divination. But because of repeatedly foreseeing misfortunes, Shirley became very painful. So, she used the income from divination to open this coffee shop. Seeing the smiles of the guests makes me happy too. Hey, Shirley, did you say that? The mermaid waiter who had finished his work leaned over. What? Master Leno, and about your big brother. Shirley held the pipe, smoked, and nodded slightly. She is not deaf. 9 out of 10 customers who came to the store today were talking about some stories from Dragon Palace City. Haishia Jinbe is defeated. Defeat Kaido's strongest hunter, Leno, one of the New World 4 emperors, receive grand hospitality from Dragon Palace, and more. Among them, it also includes the death of the evil dragon gang, and the discussion about emigrating to land with Princess Ottoheim and Leno. Because among the dancers, there are mermaids from the Mermaid Cafe, especially the Medaka quintuplets. There is nothing they don't know about Mermaid Island. Do you have any divination? The mermaid waiter asked curiously. No. After the mermaid waiter walked away, Shirley frowned slightly. Although she and the evil dragon are brothers and sisters, the time they spend together is very short, so there is no brother and sister relationship. However, before the evil dragon was alive, she actually did divination, and what she saw were prisons and shackles, not death. This is the first time that she has failed in divination. Well, it can't be said to be a failure, but it has deteriorated. Crunch. The door of the cafe was pushed open. A tall merman with long blue wavy hair came in. When the customers in the store and the mermaid waiter saw it, they all got up and stepped aside, bowing and saluting. His Royal Highness Sharkstar, Shirley also got up. No need to be polite, Sharkstar holds a golden trident. With a straight face and calm expression, he said politely, Shirley, my father asked me to invite you to the palace as a guest. Shirley nodded slightly and said, okay, I'll make preparations. Shirley, as the best fortune teller in the Fishmen Island, is not the first time to be summoned by King Neptune. Royal Palace. Shirley followed Sharkstar and felt the dignified atmosphere just after entering the palace. Glance. Except King Neptune on the throne, there are also left ministers and right ministers sitting below. As well as the second prince Wangxing and the third prince Crashing Star. The other person is Haishu Jinbe. The gates of the palace are closed. From the faces of everyone present, Shirley realized that the divination she was about to perform had a lot to do with it. Sharkstar and Shirley came to the hall and saluted King Neptune. Ms. Shirley, please come here today. There is one thing that needs your help, Neptune said. Do my best, Your Majesty. The thing is like this, Minister Zuo said. After listening to Minister Zuo's narration, Shirley was surprised. She hesitated for a while and began to occupy the future. Soon, facing Shirley's divination results, everyone looked at each other in blank dismay, even Shirley looked incredulous. A long time. I really can't bear it, how ridiculous is this, how can a living person not exist in fate? Shirley was slightly dissatisfied with Minister Zuo questioning his professionalism. This is what I saw, blank, everything that involved Leno, became blank, fate was broken. Sharkstar said calmly. In other words, you can't see how this matter will affect the Fishmen Island. Shirley nodded and said to Neptune, Your Majesty, forgive me for being helpless. Moreover, relying on divination to govern the country is not a qualified king. I believe His Majesty the King can make the right decision. Murloc Street. This is a large place for the Fishmen Island to take in orphans. But due to management incompetence, as a result, Murloc Street became a gathering place for criminal groups. Fisher Tiger, Jinbe, the Dragon Gang, Hody Jones are the characters who were born here. It can be said that they have lived in a place full of hardships, full of hatred and anger since they were young. Coupled with the opening of the era of great pirates. Marines and pirates flooded into the Fishmen Island, plundering and abducting mermaids. They grew up witnessing human atrocities. How can there be no hatred in the heart? It is the dual environment of the great pirate era and the Murloc Street that brewed the evil dragon, Hody Jones and others. A drunken swordsman holding a meatball skewer and a wine jug walked staggeringly through the street. Bao Zhang, have you heard? Someone stopped him. Hody and the others were killed, dead at the hands of humans. Dragon Palace City not only failed to punish the criminals, but also welcomed that human into it. It's really disgusting. We are going to protest at Jelong Cod Square, are you going? Bao Zhang opened his drunken eyes and said, Oh, do you have any money? Murloc Forest is an underwater forest located in the northeast of Murloc Street. Mr. Leno, do you really think that the Fishmen Island is not suitable for integration into human society? Princess Yi humbly asked for advice along the way. In her heart, she has regarded Leno as a sage of human beings, a prophet of wisdom, and a person who can change the fate of Murlocs. A small number of Murlocs is fine, but humans and Murlocs always have race differences, as long as the differences exist. Leno looked around and said, then, humans will never be able to treat Murlocs as humans. Not to mention Murlocs blending into human beings, as long as the skin color is different inside human beings, wouldn't there be various problems? So, Murlocs don't want to blend in with humans, but to be themselves. Princess Odahime took a small notebook, wrote down Leno's words, thought carefully, and acted like I was a good student. As far as Leno could see, piles of abandoned ships piled up into mountains. The forest of Murlocs was transported here along the flow of the tide due to many shipwrecks in the sea. Therefore, it is also known as the cemetery of the ship. Because Sunshine Eve transmits the sunshine on the sea to the Fishmen Island. So many beautiful corals grow here. Schools of fish and whales also forage here. Leno, Princess Odahime, and the guards of the Dragon Palace came here together to find the text of history. The main text of history refers to an indestructible steel that was cast by the ancestors of the Wano-kuni Kazuki clan during the blank 100 years. There are two types. One is the historical text of the 4 red signposts that records the location information of Raftel. A location is recorded on the history text of each road sign, and when you know these locations and connect the 4 points on the map, the last island, Raftel, will emerge in the center. However, Leno always feels that 3 points can lock the approximate range. Maybe he didn't learn math well. The other is the 26 historical texts that record a blank 100-year history. Among them, the historical text that records important information is included. When the information on these 26 historical texts is combined, it can form a complete article that records 100 years of blank history, that is, the real historical text. After the text of the history was cast, it was sent to various parts of the world. And these, the stels that record a blank century-old history, are feared by the world government. The act of studying historical texts is defined as a crime by the world government. Originally, the text on the stele could only be deciphered by the Kazuki family, who made the stele, and the scholars living in Ohara. But come down for a long time. The Kazuki family's method of interpreting the historical text and the contents of the stele were lost in Momonosuke's father's generation. Coupled with the destruction of Ohara, Awaken is the only one who can read the main text of the history. Leno remembered that on the Fishmen Island, there happened to be a signpost history text, and Joey Boye's apology. Knowing that Leno is willing to provide a small island to the Murlocs, Princess Odahime has full trust in him. So, she volunteered to act as Luchin. Just as they were walking through the forest of Murlocs, heading for the location of the main text of history. Suddenly a cry came. "Ah, help! Where are you going?" "Ha ha ha, beautiful lady mermaid, quickly come to the net. You are worth 50 million Baileys." Laughter echoed. "It's a slave catcher." The faces of the guards change. "Go and have a look," Princess Odahime anxiously. Not far from where the incident happened, Leno walked out and saw a group of people holding a net, laughing. In the net is a stone bream mermaid with a graceful figure, the upper body is a human, and the lower body is the tail of a fish. "Stop! What are you doing?" the Dragon Palace guards scolded. "Oh." The guy who seemed to be the leader, saw Princess Odom, grinned, and said greedily, "Is there only one mermaid here? Today is really a day to get rich, yeah, ha ha ha." His companion laughed. Leno glanced at them and said, "Hey, are you Marine?" "Huh? How do you know? Who are you?" Someone was surprised. "Idiot." The leader slapped him on the head and said, "You've been exposed." Although he was wearing tailor-made clothes, he deliberately made some cover-ups. But why wear a Marine hat? The word Marine is clearly written. The leader cursed speechlessly, looked at Leno and the others, and said, "Since you have discovered it, go to hell." He looked fiercely, and said, "Kill them all for me, except for that mermaid, leave no one behind." Yes. More than 20 accomplices all drew their swords out. "Ask for flowers." Facing these people, Leno raised his hand. Finger pistol. Bang bang bang. Leno's fingers felt like gunshots. Just one shot. In an instant, sharp air bursts sounded one after another. After one sound, someone must have a headshot. The sound of death broke into my mind, scaring Princess Odahime so pale that she couldn't help but squat down and cry. Her sense of knowledge is too strong. Unfortunately, she doesn't have enough strength to control it. Therefore, it is not only easy to influence others, but also easy to be infected by others. In a blink, all the people who rushed over fell to the ground, only the leader behind was left, dumbfounded and glaring. Who is this guy? That is, finger pistol, Marine. He was stunned. His subordinates were all killed? He saw Leno's fingers, turned to himself, and clenched the knife with trembling hands. Damn, you, who are you? I'm Marine. Boom! The leader's right arm exploded, and he covered the wound, screaming. Really? Do you still know that you are Marine? Leno looked cold, and another finger pistol hit his left leg, causing him to half kneel in pain. Leno walked up to him, looked at him, and said, "Remember, my name is Leno." Leno. The leader was blindfolded, beads of sweat dripped down his cheeks, and said, You defeated Kaido, Lord Leno?" Leno smiled, patted him on the shoulder, and said, "I know there is someone behind you. So, I need discomfort. From today, the Fishmen Island is my territory." The leader gritted his teeth, endured the pain, nodded like a chicken pecking at rice, and said, "Yes." Leno let him go and the guards stayed there. Zero he himself followed. Shortly after, the ship not far from Murloc Street exploded. What happened? On Murloc Street, the Murlocs who were about to go to Gyronecalled Square to protest, all raised their heads. Then, I saw another explosion bursting into flames. There, it seems, is where the slave boats hang out. Are they fighting among themselves? The Murlocs ran over one after another. Ah, that man. Boom, the violent shockwave spread. In the eyes of all the Murlocs, a man smashed a coated marine battleship with one punch. Hiss. Inhalation sound, one after another. This is too strong, it is simply not human. That figure was in the deep sea, constantly creating explosions, destroying those ships, and saving a group of Murloc duo. Leno, you, why? The leader of the slave ship was furious. In Marine, there are scum like you. He is a Marine Rear Admiral who uses vacations as an excuse to hunt mermaids for extra money. Of course, he definitely did not dare to reveal his identity. From now on, the Fishmen Island and Hunter Guild will be allies. Leno's voice diffused, his eyes were cold and stern, and he scanned the figure in the dark, saying, "Any slave hunting behavior on the Fishmen Island is tantamount to provoking me and Hunter's Guild, and the end will be like this person." Puff. With a knife, Leno chopped off the opponent's head, and the body fell to the ground, shocking everyone. After I finished speaking, who has an opinion? Quietly. In the dark, someone sneered. Someone has an opinion. Very good, I like it, let's talk. Leno's SS-level observation Haki has already spread, listening to everyone's voice in their minds. His thinking and strength are far stronger than Princess Otto, so the analysis of these voices is extremely fast. In a split second, Leno found those people and appeared in front of them. Why? Lord Leno, we are one of the Dark Six Uranus, subordinates of the Sea King? So what? Didn't you object just now? I'm here to find you. Sorry, the objection is invalid. Boom. After a short fight, Leno didn't stop and continued to kill another group of slave catchers. Because Leno seems to have installed a locator on them to precisely lock their position. After killing people, Leno only had time to drink a cup of coffee and return to Mermaid Forest calmly. Escape. The Murlocs watched Leno carrying a knife and hacking 3 blocks away from here, and they were all terrified. This was her first time witnessing a murder scene. Too frightening. In order to ease the atmosphere, Leno asked curiously, "Well, Miss Mermaid, how do you mermaids conceive a child?" Princess Odahime was wiping her tears, pretending to be strong, but the dead humans still made her feel scared. The Murloc holding the protest flag hurriedly took it away, so as not to be misunderstood. There are still people who are lucky, and at this time they wish they could have 2 more legs, and they are all at large. Bloody massacre. The slave catcher was horrified. Dragon Palace guards rescued the mermaid. This person, the Demon King. When the rescued Murloc saw Leno, he enthusiastically stepped forward, gave him a kiss, and said gratefully, "I'm Ishili, thank you for your rescue." He is the human who killed Hody and the others. When he was speaking, he glanced at Princess Eg. Her fragile body would not shatter when pressed against it. The person they want to protest is such a powerful existence? Chapter 104 Paramecia Magnetic Fruit, Hunter Buggy, the Troublemaker. Sabaody Archipelago. Get up early in the morning. Guion Vice Admiral stretched, come to the restaurant. There is no need for her to speak, and the dedicated chef will serve her the breakfast she likes. There were also courteous generals who sent the newspapers of the day. As base commander, her duty is not to run around, but to sit in the center and mobilize subordinates. Only when she encounters a strong character, she will go out in person. So, many pirates, when they reach old age, all kinds of injuries broke out when they were young, and they can only live on drips. Whitebeard. Please give me your ID, and many marines, when they reach old age, are still leisurely, doctor every day. Guion is a geisha. In terms of health preservation, it is quite particular. She didn't ask where Kuina had gone, definitely already training. To be honest, it's already too early to start in Guion. It was still only dim, but Kuina at this time should have been training for an hour. This kind of diligence makes the marine elites look up to them with admiration. Guion admired her more and more. Unfortunately, she is not interested in joining marine. Leno, that guy. Guion muttered something, but he didn't know where he went, and there has been no news so far. She unfolded the newspaper, glanced at the title, and sprayed out the tea in her mouth. Shocked. The leader of the hunter, Leno, appeared in the deep sea and conquered the Fishmen Island. Guion narrowed his eyes. The Fishmen Island? How and where did he go? No wonder there has been no news for so long. Are you fascinated by the mermaid at the bottom of the sea? Guion muttered. This guy really doesn't matter if he doesn't show up, but when he does show up, he'll startle people. I don't know, what is the Fishmen Island like? Guion was curious. Although she is Vice Admiral, she has not been to the Fishmen Island so far. On the one hand, it is a busy job. On the other hand, the journey to the Fishmen Island is quite dangerous. This danger is not human. 317. It's the ocean, it's nature. Without a good guide, a good sleep by yourself. Of the 10 ships that set off, 5 were buried in the belly of the fish, 4 returned halfway, and only a few broke into the New World. Its danger is much higher than Upside Down Mountain. The sun just came out of the sea, under the blue sky. The calm sea suddenly churned. Immediately after the waves rolled away, 3 coated boats surfaced, followed by a huge transparent team. Is this above the sea? Look, that's the sun. What a warm sunshine. Sun. On the boat, Princess Odahime heard the joy and cheers from the people of the clan, and couldn't help covering her face and weeping. The great Prince Shark raised his head and took a breath of sea-flavored air. Is this the Queen Mother's dream? On the ship of the Sun Pirates? Jinbe, Aladdin and other Murlocs smiled knowingly when they heard the cheers from Princess Odahime and her compatriots. They looked at the rising sun that is their banner, the Fishmen of the Fishmen Island, the dream of 800 years. At first, they leave the Fishmen Island. Follow Fisher Tiger, a member of the pirates, when he saw the sun for the first time. Also so excited. Sun, Mienjin was very excited to see. For him who has been wandering in the dark deep sea outside the Fishmen Island for a long time, such light makes him jump for joy. After Van der Daken's death, Mitsumi followed Leno. After getting along, Leno felt that he was kind-hearted by nature, but because he was too innocent, he was used by Van der Daken. Teach it well, it is a combat power comparable to the huge battleship San Juan Wolf and the demon race Lil Oz. His body shape is there, with great strength, rough skin and thick flesh, and his basic conditions are much stronger than humans. So, this time back to East Blue, Leno took Mitsumi with him and asked him to guard the waters near Elegia. On board the Flying Leno and other murlocs and mermaids were calmer. Said to Princess Odahime, Jinbe and the others, "You are waiting nearby, I will go to Saboti Archipelago to do something." Leno gained respect and awe from the Fishmen Island for his killing of the slave ship that day. Princess Odahime and Sharkstar took the lead, and he quickly recruited 200 murlocs and mermaids with gentle personalities. They will go to East Blue with Leno. As for Jinbe and the Sun Pirates, it was entrusted by King Neptune to escort the ship. Leno left, went to Saboti Archipelago, and contacted Gion. Restaurant outside Marine Base. Private box. Leno met Gion and Kuina. "You bastard, thought you were Kaido'd." Gion scowled. "Haha, luck is better." Leno smiled. Kuina seems to have grown a little taller again. It's just that Leno feels that her height will probably be fixed at around 170 cm, and it is unlikely that she will grow taller. But, as long as she keeps her feet on the ground, not to mention becoming the #1 in the world, it is not a problem to become famous in the world. In just half a month, Kuina trained beside Gion, and her strength seems to have improved again. Every day, Gion will arrange an actual battle for her. There are many pirates coming to Saboti Archipelago, and Kuina will not be short of opponents. It's not that it's not good to be around Leno. Leno's guidance is the key to the transformation of Kuina's kendo style, towards a more efficient and practical development. But before, they were only in East Blue, and they couldn't meet any opponents, and the strong opponent, Kuina, was difficult to deal with. So, she was in an awkward position. The environment and opponents have a great influence on the growth of a person. Why are there so many strong people in New World? Because of the environment. In a chaotic and disorderly place like New World, if you don't become strong, you will only become a weakling at the mercy of others. Therefore, everyone strives to be the first, and everyone is brave. The environment of East Blue is too peaceful, like a greenhouse. Staying for a long time will make people slack and complacent. When others are making progress and you are still standing still, that is regressing. The most obvious examples, such as Buggy, Smoker. Are they not talented? No, he was also full of talent when he was young. But the contemporaries went further and further away. They didn't make any progress. Get out of East Blue, level up, and grow in no time. A comfortable environment will destroy people's fighting spirit. Kuina's entry into Saboti Archipelago is just the beginning of Open Black Lens Bracket Hunter Guild Close Black Lens Bracket. Next, Crow, Luwell and others, after they settle down in East Blue, will also enter the Paradise section in New World. East Blue, just the beginning. Zinshuken. Leno briefly told them about the Red Line battle on the Fishmen Island, without mentioning Marijoy. This kind of thing, knowing it, is not good for them. Before parting, Leno took out a box and handed it to Gion. "What is this?" Gion was surprised. Her ears were reddish. If someone gave her a gift, she would definitely refuse it straight away. But it was Leno who delivered the gift, making her heart beat faster. "This guy, Sendamachi? He won't, is he chasing me?" Should I say yes? In Gion's mind, a bunch of emotions collide with each other. Leno said, "I heard that Naval Headquarters intends to choose one of you to take Kuzan's place?" Gion was surprised, and said vigilantly, "How do you know about this kind of thing? Did you install an undercover agent?" "What's undercover? From the weight of your Marine's newspaper pages, you can probably figure it out, right?" "Is that so?" Leno said with a smile. "If you can become Admiral, I will be very relieved, but you are still a little bit worse now." "What?" Gion looked unhappy. Although what Leno said is true, she is still 1 grade away from the Admiral level. She knows it herself. If Kuzan hadn't left, it wouldn't be her turn at all. But Leno was so direct, it was like poking 10,000 directly into her heart. Depressed. "So, this devil fruit should be useful to you." Devil fruit? Gion opened the box, and inside was a metallic, pineapple-shaped devil fruit. Paramecia magnetic fruit. Leno introduced. After mastering it, it can create a magnetic field, control metals and the like, and has powerful attacks, range, and single target. It is by no means weaker than Logia, and even more powerful than Logia. This devil fruit was found from the ship of the Sea Kings group, and it is Leno's spoils of war. It will later be eaten by Eustace Kid and developed to the point of awakening. It's just that awakening is awakening. Leno feels that Kid is more like using magnetic fruit as an auxiliary ability, some kind of robot. It was such a good fruit, it was so embarrassing for him to use it. Magnetic force. 4 basic forces, what a powerful force. Look at Fujitori's life, a fruit of gravity. A knife is enough to pull the meteorite from the sky, and fall down to attack. Control the magnetic force, that is Magneto. Coupled with metal control, it can form an electric system attack through a magnetic field. Using its own magnetic force to distort the magnetic field, the magnetic storm formed can be so large as to destroy islands. There are other moves like universal pull, isn't it delicious? What about Kid? I can only say that it's not that devil fruit can't do it, sometimes it's really people who can't do it. So, here's what I know about electromagnetism, including my advice on magnetic fruit development. Leno took out a booklet written on the way and handed it to Gion. What? Also wrote a booklet. Gion took it, opened it and looked at it. It was clearly organized and explained the various advantages of magnetic fruit. The analysis is given, and some moves are designed in combination with Gion's style. This is too serious. Gion felt that in order to do this, Leno must have worked very hard. This kind of concern made her feel hot all over, blushing, and muttered, I'm not a child. No, don't get me wrong, I'm worried that you are too stupid to use up the magnetic fruit. Leno's words pierced Gion's heart with a knife, making her grind her teeth in anger. This guy, if you can't speak, don't say it. After all, I have fantasies. The Marine re-election plan will undoubtedly be proposed at the World Summit 2 years later and officially passed. World Summit is held every 4 years. The last session was 151 years old. The next one is 1514. The current time, right now, enters the year 1512. So, you have more than 2 years to develop this fruit, like oil. Gion nodded earnestly. I don't want to be Admiral's Marine, not a good Marine. In her heart, Gion hopes to become Admiral, but her limited strength makes her feel powerless. Today, Leno's supporter fighting spirit was ignited again. This kind of passion to fight for one thing. She seemed to have not appeared for a long time. Hey, are you not afraid, I will catch you in the future? Gion asked angrily. You catch your own too, don't you, Admiral? Leno laughed. What own people? Gion rolled his eyes. Kuina looked at the two of them, took a piece of melon, and ate the melon. Caw. Leave the restaurant. Leno goes to Shaki's rip-off bar again. Before entering the bar, Leno heard Buggy shouting in the distance. Little ones, what are we? Hunter. Not far from the bar. Buggy stood on a high place, arms folded, majestic, with a very sinister expression on his face. Below, there are 200 or 300 people wielding swords, pirates? Hee ha, it's so cool, Buggy laughed inwardly. Leno shocked the world by defeating Kaido. Buggy realized that his opportunity had come. He was just wearing the clothes of the Hunters Guild, and when he walked around Sabaody, some younger brothers came to follow him. Sabaody Archipelago, composed of complex personnel. Among them are a large number of people who came back alive because they failed to go to New World. These people, either after repairing, join another pirate group and then set off. Or, lose your fighting spirit, join the slave ship and muddle along. Or go back to the world. There are also people who are neither willing to go back nor afraid to go. Most of the people that Buggy gathered were the last group of people who were attracted by the purpose of the hunter when they were in a period of confusion. Seeing this scene, Leno put his hand on his forehead. Buggy is really not ordinary, luck. Born to be a troublemaker? It seems that it is more suitable for him to keep Buggy in paradise. Leno thought to himself. The situation in East Blue is basically stable, so it doesn't make much sense to let Buggy go back. For him, find something to do. Suddenly, Leno's mother came to Tom the Murloc in the 17-water capital. This person holds the blueprint of open black lens bracket Pluton close black lens bracket. After seeing the threat of Uranus, Leno paid more attention to Pluton and Poseidon. 3 ancient weapons, open black lens bracket Uranus close black lens bracket, open black lens bracket Pluton close black lens bracket, open black lens bracket Poseidon close black lens bracket, are all manufactured by the Giant Kingdom. From a corner of the future island, we can get a glimpse of the powerful technology that the kingdom possesses. Definitely, beyond the world Leno came to. And the 3 major weapons are the masters of the advanced technology of the huge kingdom, and they are strategic weapons. The importance of strategic weapons is beyond doubt. When others think you have it, you better have it. The world government controls open black lens bracket Uranus close black lens bracket, possesses powerful combat forces such as Marine and CP, and still wants to obtain open black lens bracket Pluton close black lens bracket and open black lens bracket Poseidon close black lens bracket, so it can be seen that they have areas of power that the world government fears. If the world government wants it, it must be destroyed. The people they wanted to kill, Leno wanted to save. Moreover, Murloc Tom's craftsmanship is quite remarkable, and he is a top master in his industry. This kind of talent, of course, must be saved. Hunter Guild. Need your own shipwright 5.3. The key is how tender. Leno quickly had a plan in his mind. Let Buggy go make a fuss. Buggy's swinging strong luck may have a miraculous effect in this kind of dilemma. Hey, Buggy. Buggy was facing the sheep, excited, washing, talking, brain, and heard someone calling him. Moreover, this channel Buggy turned his head, widened his eyes, and saw Leno standing outside the bar. Yes, President. Buggy blinked vigorously, thinking he was misreading, and blinked a few times in a row. Is it really Leno? Hey, that's the president of the Hunters Guild. The world's strongest hunter, Leno, who defeated the 4 emperors Kaido. Appeared. I thought Big Brother Buggy was a liar, but I didn't expect that he actually knew President Hunter. Ah, the president is so handsome. Seeing Leno's appearance, the crowd below, after a brief shock, burst into loud cheers. Hey, Buggy, come here, I have an important task for you. Leno waved to Buggy. Important, Bean. My lord, do you have a mission? Ha, this shows that my ability has been recognized? Buggy was overjoyed, coughed lightly, and said to the people below, Little ones, I'll come as soon as I go. Buggy brother. In the eyes of everyone, Buggy walked into the bar with Leno. The two didn't know what they were talking about. Soon, Buggy came out very satisfied with a smile on his face, and came in front of a group of new recruits. In the eyes of everyone, Buggy said seriously, "Little ones, I have received a very important and dangerous mission." Hiss. Everyone inhales. Important and dangerous mission. It seems that Buggy is really trusted. However, with my hunter Buggy here, no task is difficult. Get ready to sail. Buggy laughed and spread his hands.